Can you hear me? I don't know if anybody can hear me. It's frozen on the trailer here. I stick in the camera and then everything just goes to crap like. So I don't know if you can hear me because it's still saying the trailer is playing. This is ridiculous. Give me a second. I'm going to do something here. Right. You can hear me now. It's funny. I did a stream on the other channel with the camera and all on, everything running, absolutely perfect. I come on here and everything just goes to shit. Welcome anyway to the TARDIS zone. No, not the TARDIS zone. See, I'm already screwed. Okay, welcome to the Noel zone. I've changed the channel's name. It's not the TARDIS zone anymore. We're just waiting now for the rebrand to actually happen with the new logos and stuff like that. But we are here. I'm clear. I'm going to try put the camera in again. It's probably going to be a bad idea, but I'm going to give it a go anyway because I want to be on camera a lot more than what I have been on, because I'm doing it on the other channel, so there's no reason why I shouldn't do it here. So that's what I'm going to do. Also, all my social medias as well is under either Noel Zone or the Noel Zone. As I said, I'm completely getting everything related to Doctor Who off my channel name. But as I do that today, BBC decided that they were going to be assholes and release a video to reveal the new David Tennant's new sonic screwdriver. And when I've decided to quit on the show, the reveal was absolutely amazing. But I'm boycotting. I'm still boycotting. I'm not watching. But I will say that reveal was actually very good. If you haven't seen it, go and check it out anyway. But we're going to try this camera again. So wish me luck before I bring on. Do you know what? Actually, probably be best if I bring them on first before I start fiddling with the camera. Because if I go, it's at least they're on stream with us. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe. Got 15 people watching right now. We'll give you a shout out as soon as I get myself organised. But let's bring him on. It's the one and only PD Rich.
Hey all. Apparently it's all about climate change now.
Anyway, we won't get into that crap.
No.
We've got the one and only royalty on this channel, Queen Charlotte.
Hello, everybody.
Fantastic. Right, let's do this. Here we go. I'm sticking it in the hole.
There we go, just in case. Remember what happened last time when he went on Gary's channel? We got stuck.
Oh, just don't get on. That's the
Yeah.
Right, here we go. Moment of truth.
Fingers crossed.
I'm here! Yay! Maybe I should do that from now on instead of actually having the camera on, try to share videos and all of that rubbish. Anyway, we are here, yeah. We're in my brand new Manchester United jersey because we were playing today and we beat Lyon 1-0, so I'm pretty chuffed. I'm in good humour, so that's good. Noel, are you not covering Doctor Who at all anymore? There's a few people that have asked me that in the chat over the last couple of days. And the answer is no. I just can't support BBC. I can't. I'm not even going to watch it be like behind everybody's back. I just refuse to watch it. I'm sorry, but I mean, it's up to you. As I said, I'm not going to get into this again, but what I will say is that, you know, I'm taking a stand because I believe it's the right thing to do, because, you know, how many times does someone at the BBC going to do what they get away with, you know?
Yeah.
And you could see that this particular presenter who's been named in the chat, but I won't name on stream, you know, you have media and celebrities coming out and backing this person now.
Yeah,
Like,
it's ridiculous.
He's still cheating on his wife and embarrassed his daughters, like, you know what I mean? So, and again, the way the BBC have handled it hasn't been great. And
well,
also on top of
position now. Sorry.
And then on top of that, we hear that, you know, that the guy that was sent in to sort the BBC out, Tim Davey, knew about this for weeks and kept them on air. Also on top of that, then you had David Tennant's recent, you know, debacle over the T-shirt, and you got Jinx Monsoon mounting off and again doing another video why they're supporting this writer's strike and all of this other nonsense. So I'm fed up. I've had enough. I've been a fan of this show for over 40 years, but this show it's not for me anymore. They've made it clear that this show ain't for us anymore. So I'm not going to watch it. It's not for me anymore. It's for who they're pandering to. And by the way, those people who you are pandering to, I'm going to let you hear a bit of audio. I'm not going to play it on screen, but I'm going to play a bit of audio for you, right? So these are the fans that the BBC are pandering to. And I told PD this off air about this little video. And I'm going to play the audio because you need to hear who BBC have pandered to and what type of fans we have in the fandom. And if you think I'm going to support this show when they pander to these little pricks, you have another thing coming. Wait till you hear this. I'll put it up to me speak. Is my speaker on? Oh, there's the issue.
You didn't have your speaker on.
There we go. Found it eventually.
Now,
for World to IT.
Can you hear me?
Yep.
Balls.
No, we can hear you.
Am I connected?
Yes.
Yeah, you're fine.
Hold on. Why am I?
And it's clearer now.
Phones are going off. Just bear with me for a second. Bear with me. What am I doing wrong? Audio. This is the hell of it. I'm just having. I mean, this didn't happen on the other stream. This is mad.
That's why we're renaming the channel.
Right, so earphones. Do I have to knock the Bluetooth off and knock it back on again? Is that what I have to do? Right. Someone say something.
Something.
Hello.
There you go. Okay, I can hear you now. This is all for fucking new earphones. She got me these new AirPods so I don't have to have them wanker earphones on. But this is who the BBC are pandering to. I'm going to tell you now that any fans of Tom Baker are going to be very upset. So what's being heard here is going to be very distressing for some people. But I'll play it there if you can hear it. Hold on.
Jumping up and down. Listen, when we heard that booming voice from Tom, I hope he's dead soon, Baker. When we heard him think, I really think he might.
So basically, what they're saying there was a podcast with a lot of these fans that love Jodie Whittaker, and two of them, one of them proceeded to say that they couldn't wait to hear the news until Tom Baker was dead, and then your other one then was laughing as he was saying it. These are the people who BBC are pandering to. So ask yourselves this: can you really support an organisation that backs these people and defends what has recently happened? And remember, they have a past with you know who and all of those other names. So it's either we take a stand once and for all and tell BBC that this is unacceptable. And the only way that I think we can do it is by boycotting everything on BBC. The Sky Q gets collected tomorrow, right? We've gotten rid of that now. We're prepared, and I've got me new modem here now. We've changed provider because we're not getting any TV. I am not paying a TV license. I'm not watching the BBC. It's gone out of this house now. We've no TV in this house now. All of our shows that we watch now is going to be streaming services. That's the way we're going. That's how strongly I feel about this, and that's why I've done what I've done. This is why the channel was rebranded, why my social media accounts was rebranded. And I just want to make one thing clear to people. You might think this is easy for me to do all of this. This is being difficult. It really has. And I don't want to start. I'm on camera and I'm starting again. This has been difficult. But this show is not for us anymore. They've made it clear that it's not. They pander to people that are wishing that Tom Baker drops dead. Like, they're the people that they're pandering to. So I can't in my good conscience, just like I haven't watched the Flash movie, just like I won't watch Aquaman 2, just like I've boycotted a few things here and there on principle, and I'm not going to do it. It's as simple as that. I can't even bring myself to watch Doctor Who right now. And that's why I've done what I've done. So, I probably should have took the hint when Jodie Whittaker was cast and fecked off and didn't put myself through this, but we did. A lot of us did. But they've made it clear under this regime that it's going to be worse. So we might as well get out now before we get too hurt. And that's why I'm getting out now, because I just can't be hurt anymore, and I can't just sit there and watch a show that I've, as I said, watched for over 40 years, and just watch it disintegrate in front of me own eyes. I don't know how Star Wars fans do it, to be quite honest.
I had to get out of Star Wars now. I had to do the same thing with Star Wars. Just had to get out.
I just don't know how they can do it, because I just don't have it in me anymore to fight.
And you know what happened to me in Star Trek?
That are all wrong with Doctor Who. It's done.
Yeah.
And if I don't let go now, then I'll just got. There'll be no point. I'll be here for the next 5 years complaining again. And while that might suit other channels out there and people out there because it brings in the subscribers and the cash, that's not for me.
But no, it's not good for your well-being. It's just not good for it.
No, I don't, it's not
Yeah.
even that. I'm mentally stronger now. I could handle it, but I just don't want to go through it again.
again.
I just don't want to. I mean, why would I put myself through that again? For what? For the BBC and all the media, and then the fans that support this to tell me that I'm nothing but a bigot and every other name that they've called me for the last 5.5 years. It's not worth it.
No, they're not worth it.
They're not worth it. I mean, defending Doctor Who, wanting it to be good, I think is a noble cause. But I've done me bit. I've done me bit, and there's nothing more you can do when nobody listens to you. And the BBC are certainly not listening to us.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
there
Sadly,
you
no.
go. I'm sorry. I spent 10 minutes explaining. I didn't mean to do that, but this hasn't been easy. I just want to make that clear. This has been tough, but it's the right thing for me and for this channel. And I think for everybody here, I know some of you will go on and watch it, and that's fine. That's your decision.
Yeah.
But I would just say to you, you've got to really look, is it worth supporting a company or a broadcasting corporation that continues to get it wrong and then covers up stuff that they've covered up in the past, and then you have a new scandal. And it won't be the last scandal at the BBC either. And that's the thing. There has to come a point where the audience says enough is enough. And it's not just about boycotting Doctor Who, it's the whole company as a whole.
Yeah.
It's sad. I'm actually really good, but it's the right thing.
Yeah.
Right, anyway, I'm moving on
Do it for your
because...
insanity. I'll give you a few things that might make you feel better, though. One, Parliament's pissed at the BBC, and I mean pissed. Two, I know people in the BBC, not mentioning names, who can't stand Tim Davie and think he's the worst thing that ever happened to the company. And three, what's happening to Disney at the moment? Do you think it's not going to go happen to the BBC straight afterwards?
Yeah, Disney's such a big part of the complex entertainment-wise, and when it comes to how much they own, that if they start to seriously buckle, and that's what we're seeing now, they will not disappear. They're not going to. That's never going to happen. They're never going to completely crash, but they can get really, really weakened, and that's where they are right now.
Yeah, falling apart.
That they're having to sell
Disney.
Things that you never would have thought 5 years ago they would have even entertained, let alone have your CEO basically in an interview say, yeah, we're open to sell this, to sell that.
Yeah, he technically wants to sell the company.
Well, when you've got Bloomberg and like all the financial people basically saying you're having a yard sale.
Yep.
That shows you the state Disney's in.
They are gone.
And that's the thing. Doctor Who is now part of that brand.
Yeah.
And, with Disney doing so bad now, we were all celebrating a year ago thinking that it was a great thing for Doctor Who. Not anymore. It's not. They can't even keep their own stuff on the platform. And this is Disney's grand plan now. Let's bring in other IPs and see if we can rescue Disney Plus. But I think Disney Plus is going to have to merge with someone else to survive, or it's gonna disappear. But Disney is in a lot of trouble right now, just like the whole of Hollywood.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, no, that wasn't.
It never needed to be this way, though. It never needed to be this way.
I just remembered something. I heard the other day on the grapevine. They want to make another trilogy of Alien films. Oh.
Yeah, well, if they were done properly,
I
would have no problem, because I think there's so much you could do with that franchise. Really do, but
brilliant franchise. Yeah, you got to handle it right. It's like using a katana like a
I mean, Ridley Scott, I slagged him off because of the movies that he produced in the Alien franchise after the fact. But I've been looking at his other movies. I mean, The Martian,
Oh, that's
You
a
know
great
what I mean?
film.
He done some fucking great movies, like, and I'm like, how did you get it so wrong for Alien, but you got it so right for everything else?
I know.
It's
I
like,
think honestly, he was too close to it.
That's
I
it.
think he was too close because he wanted to go into the background, didn't he? He wanted to look at
yeah,
really going into that stuff, and that's something you only go into if you're really into that franchise, if you're really into it.
Whereas
And
us as the consumer wanted the xenomorph. We
Yeah.
just wanted more of the alien.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You're
well,
right, Charlie. Go ahead.
he had a very precise thing he wanted to do, and nobody else would have persuaded him. I've always got the impression Ridley's very headstrong and very no, it's my way. You don't really try and change that. And also, and the other thing that I think, yeah, you could do if it's done well. I think because I saw a really good video that they were like highlighting how if you look at the likes of Alien, the originals, and a load of other movies, that shows people don't hate female characters.
No.
They hate the modern version of writing a female character.
Yeah. I'll tell you something, Charlotte. Sorry, not sorry to interrupt. Do you know who one of my favourite sci-fi heroes is?
Who?
Ellen Ripley.
Yes, she's adored, that character, by males
brilliant.
and females.
Mine is
go on.
Ellen, number one. Yeah, agree with you all. Ellen Ripley,
exactly.
But Sarah Connor.
Oh God, yeah, both are iconic.
Yeah, definitely up there. As now, is Sarah Connor a little bit less because Ripley had a lot more movies because Sarah Connor was only in the first two. Remember that. But the first two, I mean, even in the second half of Terminator, you could see that she's stepped up, she's changed because Reese is injured. I only recently watched it again. The effects don't hold up in that movie, but the movie is still brilliant. I mean, that Terminator movie is just epic. But Sarah Connor is up there. I mean, there could be. Is there any more though? Let me. Who else?
What, we're talking like really classic type stuff?
Yeah, maybe superhero. Yeah, to like female.
Yeah, Lara Croft from video games.
Actually, though, the Angelina Jolie movies are not everybody's cup of tea. But I thought she was actually great as Lara Croft. Brilliant. Yeah. So I liked her as Lara Croft.
The first one's amazing. I didn't like the second one because I thought the
director. Second movie is rubbish. Second movie is rubbish, mate. But the first movie is not bad.
Cuts. Yeah. If you watch the deleted scenes from the second one, because I think if the deleted scenes remained and the alternate ending remained, it would have been a brilliant film. But he just made these weird, stupid cuts at the end. It just makes no sense. It's like, yeah, well, if the second protagonist died, it would make a lot of sense. But it's just like all these horrible cuts.
That's always the studios, though. It's not always the director.
It might have been, yeah. But he was saying it. I just did want to go down this route and all that on the commentary. I'm like, why did you not go down that route?
All right, so if it's the director saying it himself, then that's.
There might be you might be right. There might be a story behind it, Noel. But it's like, I thought the main protagonist, a traitor, would be a better idea, kind of thing. It's like, oh no, what are you doing, mate? There's a love story in the Tomb Raider 2.
Oh, Chris has just said a few good ones. Wonder Woman, Linda Carter, Bionic Woman.
Yeah. Actually, now they're all coming back. You're right, Bionic Woman, Wonder Woman. There was also hold on now, because you had to store them something there.
From Deep Space Nine.
There was Penelope, wasn't there? What was her name?
Thunderbird.
Lady Penelope.
Penelope's Pit Stop.
Yeah.
Was she Pit Stop? Oh no, Penelope.
What, Penelope Pit Stop? That's
I preferred Captain Scarlet.
Yeah, I was a bit funny. I used to love Fireball XL5, mate. Loved that show. It was lame.
She's Lady Penelope. That's how she was known in Thunderbirds.
Yeah, Lady Penelope.
That's how I struggled to think of her surname.
Yeah.
Well, I just want to answer this by Psyche Beach. Yeah. Listen, look, the show's probably going to be great, and it probably won't be pandering, right?
Yeah.
But that doesn't make a difference with everything that I've said. There's a reason why I'm boycotting. And I said, look, the end of the day, that's the choice I've made. You can watch if you want. As I said, I'm not going to judge anybody, but there has to come a time where people say, hey, enough is enough from the BBC. You know, how many scandals do they need to have before people start saying, well, oh, that organisation needs to be sorted out. We need to weed out all of the people in that organisation, get rid of them.
Yeah.
But as I said, it's up to you. It's up to you ourselves. That's the stand I'm taking. And as I said, I feel so strongly about it that I've even took the risk of rebranding the channel. Yeah,
I don't blame you. Probably a sensible idea anyway. But I feel the same way about them. I just think, it's like I said on Rabbi's channel the other day in the chat. I turned around and said, "Oh, the BBC just got half the country infected by a virus. Oh, we might have to discuss taking the license fee away from you now." It's like, actually, it is. What do they have to do to lose a license fee? It's like, God, kill half the country or something. It's ridiculous. I just keep getting second chance and second chance and second chance. I think it's ridiculous. Other broadcasters don't get what they got.
No, because they haven't got the history and what the BBC originally started out in something quite noble and something that was actually quite revolutionary in its ways. But it's just become more and more stagnant. It's become more and more not knowing what it wants to be, so it panders to every trend going.
Yeah. I mean, they got rid of their original director general because he was in with Walter Mosley. We all know about that. That's why Lord Reef was kicked out. But now it's like they just want to keep them. It's like it's gone the opposite. Yeah.
So if anybody's got questions, because we said last week that was quite fun. So if you've got any questions in the chat, we'll sort of swap who answers them and see if you've got any topics you want us to discuss. And somebody just said up top also, and I know it's games, but there was movies. You had the Resident Evil. They had loads of female.
Redfield, Jill Valentine,
Yeah, you had Kate Beckinsale and Underworld as well. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
They're kind of newer ones, but yeah, there has been a lot. But this is the thing, they could smash this narrative that blokes, didn't have any female heroes to look up to, or women didn't. Of course they did. I mean, Xena Warrior Princess and woman Gabrielle, that was another one. But we watched that. The lads used to love that, and we know the girls used to love it because they used to love watching girls kick the shit out of blokes, and that was great. And you also had Buffy the Vampire Slayer, and then if you go with kids TV, you had Sabrina the Teenage Witch, and all of that other stuff. Yeah.
Oh, the Disney Channel stuff.
Yeah.
So you had Lizzie McGuire, That's So Raven, all those stuff I watched when I was young.
Hannah Montana.
Well, I watched Keenan and Kel.
Oh, they were funny.
Yeah, Keenan and Kel and Sister we used to watch in our house because my sisters used to watch. And Saved by the Bell.
Oh, yeah. Good old stuff.
Yeah. Oh, we're really showing our age.
Oh, I know. The 90s stuff was so good for its time.
Nickelodeon was so good in the 90s, wasn't it?
God,
Oh, man. There was nothing better. And Cartoon Network as well back in the day. That and Nickelodeon were the two channels you watched.
Yeah.
And now, I just go back and watch all the... Listen, I'm having a blast going back and watching my childhood again. It's fucking great. Second time. Oh, I'm telling you, seriously, you should do it. Watch all the shows you grew up with as a kid, right? And through your teenage, and watch them again. And I'm telling you, right, some kind of age a little bit badly, but you can understand why you love them. And some are just like wow, man, was I really allowed to watch that as a kid?
Yeah.
But Jesus, man, I'm having the time in my life. I'm not messing.
There was that weird thing, wasn't there, in the 90s, that they almost were pushing, how much could they get away with in kids' telly? There was a real sort of vibe to that.
There's our first question anyway. Did Tom Baker and John Pertwee get on with each other? I don't think there was any bad blood between them. I mean, I know they took the piss out of him with the Five Doctors when they had the waxworks and stuff like that. But I don't think any of those actors took that personally. I think they understood where he was coming from, actually, because he'd only left, if you think about it, really.
Yeah.
He'd only left, and then they wanted him to come back for the 5 Doctors. And at that time, he kind of, listen, he gave his dues, Tom Baker. He didn't know anybody at him. So, I don't know. I'm pretty sure they would have got. I mean, they were seen photographed together and all, and you can't fake that.
Yeah.
You can't
It was
fake that stuff.
like this. Tom's fight wasn't with the rest of the Doctors. It was with John Nathan Turner. And that's what it was all about. So, of course, he probably did. He probably bumped into them at conventions all the time. They're probably all around each other.
Yeah.
You got to realise
they've
all got a life. They've got a convention circuit. And most of them get on. I mean, I've seen some funny chats between Tom and Colin Baker at conventions. Hilarious. They love each other. They're all mates, comrades in arms. Probably all sharing the soap, if you know what I mean. Oh, God, I've run out of soap. Have you got any, Colin? Oh, yes, I've got some. You know what I mean? Stupid conversations around the breakfast table, all that kind of stuff.
I've never heard anything. I've only ever heard, obviously, the stories about Troughton and Pertwee.
Yeah. I mean, they were.
But then even they became friends by the end of it. They just initially didn't get on.
Yeah, I mean, there was this whole thing between, was it when Hartnell was still alive as well? It's like Hartnell, Trout, and Pertwee just didn't really get on.
I think there were so different personalities. That's what it was.
And the same when Tom came in. It got a bit different. And Peter, I think Peter Davison brought everyone together when he came on the convention circuit.
Yeah, he's always been like the sort of calming force, hasn't he?
He's always been like the calmer guy, the nice guy, the really nice one who just gets on with everyone and just
he's got a wicked sense of humour, but he's like the nice.
It's like, Colin, Tom didn't mean that. He really didn't. He's just in a bad mood. You know what he's like, kind of thing. Yeah. Yeah, that's why they did the 5-ish Doctors, because they all get on.
Yeah, see, I watched. I remember watching some Thunderbirds when I was a kid. I never watched Captain Scarlet.
Yeah, I did watch Stingray as well. Stingray was actually decent.
Yeah.
Stingray. But listen, they were great shows. I mean, think about it. There were puppets on strings and stuff. And they were some of the most intense shows you were watching on TV. Like, proper action sequences and all in them. Yeah. Like, you have credit where credit is due, man. And now they have the technology to get rid of those strings.
Yeah.
You know? So you're watching it now look even better. I mean, we definitely grew up with some great stuff.
I know. Do you know why Jerry Anderson had to use puppets, though? He just couldn't get the budget. He said, I'd love to have done with live action, but we didn't have the budget to hire the actors, so we had to have puppets instead.
Do you know what? I'm amazed we haven't had a proper live action TV show yet based on Thunderbirds. I know there's been some cartoon stuff recently.
Yeah.
I'm amazed we haven't had a live action. Not that terrible movie. Not talking about that.
That was Jonathan Frakes. That was awful.
But I just mean a proper, like, Saturday night telly Thunderbird.
Yeah. Let me tell you a little story about the the Fab One on that set. On the movie. Well, someone I know is friends with a guy who helped build it, right? And the pink paint, he actually painted one of his motorcycles with it because he nicked a load after the shoot. And they were literally also, it was an electric car, but they were zooming down the mall, constantly zoomed backwards and forwards on the mall when they were filming that scene where Fab One's driving down the mall. They're just doing like 80 miles an hour in an electric car. It was insane. Yeah.
I remember feeling so sorry for Ben Kingsley because it's he was trying so hard and the script was so terrible.
Yeah, I feel sorry for Jonathan Frakes because I think it killed his career as a director when he did that one. He was just directing sci-fi. So it was a bad script.
Well, in fairness, though, he's directing in sci-fi. I think is where he does his best work, though.
Yeah.
In fairness, I mean, he directed how many episodes of the last season of Picard, and it was pretty impressive directing.
1 or 2,
yeah. So
season,
I mean, it's nice to see him getting another go at it, and maybe what he's done, he might be able to branch out a little bit more now. But
I always thought it was a shame he didn't direct Nemesis. I thought Nemesis would have been a slightly better film if he directed it. I think they had a bad director on that one. I think Patrick Stewart had too much power as well. And so it went off.
No, Jack, like I said, as a kid, that movie was fun to watch. There's no denying it. And it had like, I still think I loved bits of how do I word this? Like, it felt so like a live action version of, when was it originally, like 70s Thunderbirds?
60s.
It felt so 60s with like the costumes and the designs, which I loved. But like I said, the script was just terrible.
Yeah.
So if you watch it when you're older, you go, ooh, this is rough.
Yeah, bad script. Good idea, bad script, yeah.
Yeah. I'm just catching up with some of these comments and trying to throw them up on
What was the
screen.
first TV or film that scared you as a kid? Oh, okay. Let me think. That you had nightmares. Oh, I know mine.
I don't have any because... No, I actually don't have any. I watched horrors when I was a young kid, and even then, I wasn't actually scared per se. And I'm immune now. Not any horror I watch now, I think, is a comedy. Like, they can't do horrors today. So I don't have one. I don't.
Mine was Doctor Who and the Daleks.
Yeah,
scared the shit out of me as a kid. Could never watch the Daleks for ages.
Was it the Daleks then? Was it that aspect?
Yeah, it was a Dalek scared the shit out of me. Pretty much, being blunt about it.
No, that makes sense.
If I was to say and I'd say, just to be fair, because you have to give an answer because it's a bit of a cop-out. If I say one thing that kind of did not scare me, but I kind of went, oh, that's a bit, as a kid, I think it was the crucifix scene in The Exorcist. That would be the closest. Yeah. Go ahead, Charlotte.
Yeah, mine was when they would the live action Goosebumps TV show. And there was one episode that absolutely scared me to death. And to this day, I'm creeped out by old-fashioned ventriloquist dummies. The mouth with the slits. Because in one episode, one of those things came to life and the voice was creepy and it turned all the kids into dolls. And that just got me as a kid.
You must have hated the God complex then.
I was scared enough, and then that whole scene, I was just like, oh no, this is like my childhood screaming at me like to run away. I just find them creepy, and it's because of that Goosebumps episode.
Yeah, I found E.T. creepy though, I have to say. Oh,
really?
Creepy as hell.
What did you find creepy about it?
I just found it creepy. Just felt E.T.
How is it creepy? It's an alien, a cute looking alien.
Creepy alien. It's creepy, man. That's creepy.
He's not. He's cute, and he's got a heartbeat. Don't you dare slag it. No, I'm not having it. I'm not having you slagging E.T. on this stream. I'll have to remove you if you do that.
Is it the scene when he's got the quill or whatever it is over him, and he looks like
the blanket, the red blanket. Yeah, I love that movie.
No, when it's like a white one, and he proper looks like an old woman.
Yeah, that's probably it. It looks like an old
woman. The wig, that was for Halloween. Yeah, they're bringing him for Halloween because they have to go and contact his home.
Yeah.
E.T. Home Phone.
That was a creepy film.
Yeah, and then he says it right then. We got Jack in the chat, Laura Thought in the chat.
Hello,
we've been putting everybody's names up there. We got Glenn Piper in the chat, who's saying, don't give up hope, guys, on modern day Doctor Who, the Doctor being on Disney Plus now. Yeah, but it's not because of that. It's because of the way BBC have behaved recently. Yeah. It's nothing to do with the show. I was actually quite optimistic about the show before all of this nonsense started happening.
Yeah.
And then the latest scandal with the BBC was just the breaking point for me. Look, the show, as I said at the start of the stream, the show will probably be great, but I just can't support it, and I won't be supporting it. It's as simple as that. So if you do support it and you enjoy it, I hope it's everything that you wish it is, but I just can't bring myself to support an organization because, yes, someone said, BBC is still part of it. They are still contributing financially. I think people think because it's Bad Wolf Studios and they have
They're the
Disney
license
money.
owner.
BBC still own the IP,
That's
and
the one.
BBC are still obviously still putting it on their TV, but they're also going to be distributing it in places where Disney where Disney isn't. If BBC happen to be there, which there are countries in the Commonwealth, as far as I know. So, you know, that aren't up with Disney Plus. It's only remember, Disney Plus is only in 62, I think it was 62 countries, we said.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of countries it's not in. So
and it might be losing some countries now that it's in.
Yeah, exactly. So
I think
let me see.
One big thing is what Igo was talking about was this India thing, that they're not going to be bothering with India as much.
Yeah.
Oh, the Thinking asked about Thundercats. Well, I'm covering that on Friday, but it looks like Thundercats at Netflix is dead. It's done.
Oh, very good.
So you can thank Boy Kevin Smith for that, because, like, you know, he started banging on about crap and then did the opposite with the show. So he's actually killed. That's the rumor. He's actually killed He-Man.
Thundercats. So, and He-Man, yeah.
Thundercats. Sorry, He-Man.
He-Man. Sorry, He-Man. You're right.
I'm getting confused a bit. Thundercats.
Getting old, mate.
Thundercats movie now. After that, Thundercats fucking, what was it called? Thundercats Roar. Thundercats is dead and buried as well. You can forget about that as well. Yeah. All of our cartoons that we grew up with are fucking around with. Listen, you want to watch Thundercats or you want to watch He-Man, watch the originals, all right? Stop all of this bollocks about wanting new ones, right? Watch the originals, they're the best. And the fucking story.
And here's the thing, because of actually how they made those originals, they still look good.
Yeah,
they
still look good. Yeah, because of
the animation is far superior as well. But the animation is far superior as well.
Yeah, that's what I mean. That's so funny, because back then it was seen, you're just doing it for commercials, and there was a bit of that. There's no denying it. But then they got good, and they got actually proud of their craft. And they actually could make things like He-Man and She-Ra and Thundercats that were way beyond a commercial.
Thundercats opening theme tune is fucking brilliant.
Yeah.
Seriously, man, go onto YouTube after this stream and watch. Actually, someone did an updated version of the opening credits with the new technology. Like they basically jazzed it up, right, to look. It actually looks brilliant, I have to say. I still do prefer the original way it was done, but your man does a good job on it. But if you haven't hit that theme tune's in your head now, along with Gladiator.
That's another thing, wasn't it? The 90s and early 2000s.
Aren't they? Oh.
Yeah, they're remaking it. It's going on to, isn't it BBC? Yeah, I won't be watching that because we're
I think a friend of mine's niece is working on it. It's a subcontract from BBC. They're not making it themselves.
They never make anything PD.
Not anymore.
So thanks. That's another show now that I was looking forward to that I can't watch now.
Yeah, they had brought, what was it? They had Television Centre. They got 3 studios at Television Centre and permanently renting 2 out to ITV. That's how much they like making shows. BBC.
They just can't do it. They haven't got the
manpower,
renounce. They haven't got the management to do it properly.
Yeah. They have the facilities, but they just keep renting them to everyone.
That's a good shout there on screen. The green, when the computer on a cliffhanger says to the doctor, "I'm all around you," and close up of Pertwee looks scared. That got me for some reason. So that's what Glenn's one is. That scared him as a kid.
Yeah, that show gave me a willies as well, The Green Death.
Interesting.
Yeah.
The opening titles of E.T. are scary. And when Elliot Force meets E.T., man, what happened to the world? Did we? Man, seriously? That's my favorite bleeding part of the opening scene. The opening scene, and when Elliot meets ET for the first time, is my favorite part. Like, my sisters and all jumped at that. I'm not gonna lie, they jumped out of this, but I love that shit, man. Because when I was a kid, I wanted to meet an alien. I'm a bit of a weirdo, actually. I wanted to meet an alien, so they didn't scare me. You know, I thought that was great. I loved that whole scene, and the music in the background as well. Hello, fellow bigots. Oh yeah,
Hi,
just
Lee.
a new one today. I read it yesterday. Funny, crazy. So the Atlantic, right, is a media outlet out there, and they've done some outlandish headlines before, like saying white people own dogs is basically slavery. You know, what black people are more likely to die because of climate change and all of this nonsense. But they come out with another whopper one today, yesterday, or I saw it yesterday. So, as you know, my favorite tipple is coffee.
Oh,
But apparently now it's racist.
I can guess why.
Yeah,
because of the slave link.
Yeah. So basically, me drinking coffee, right? I'm a racist. So to all me fellow racists out there, because I know a lot of you like coffee. To all me fellow racists out there, cheers.
Yeah.
What a pile of shit. I mean, what next? We just leave it out, right? There's nothing racist about drinking coffee, right? There's nothing racist about whatever other shit you find racist, because it's fucking stupid. You just need to leave it out, right? White people, look at if climate change is real, but it's got to do with the solar output. But look, if climate change happens, right, it doesn't matter whether you're black, white, Asian, or whatever the fuck, right? If we have climate change like the day after tomorrow, it doesn't matter what your color of your fucking skin is, right? Yeah. You're gonna fucking die. End of story, right? Jesus Christ Almighty, these people. Listen, if this really does happen, right, and it gets bad, which is not going to, but we won't be around when it does, right? But it will happen one day to the human race, right? They won't give it. Trust me. Nobody be giving an effect whether you're gay, lesbian, blah blah blah, or you're white, black, Asian, as I said, right? At the end of the day, we're all gonna fucking die, right? Do you think climate change gives a fuck about the color of your skin?
No, it's a bit like cancer, mate. It's not judgmental.
Oh, seriously, man. These people, I just have to laugh because it's funny. But people swallow this shit.
I know.
By the way, some Noel Clarke news. Right?
Oh, okay.
So Noel Clarke apparently is suing the newspapers now. According to the newspaper, he's looking for 10 million in damages. Now,
good for him.
Now, I will just like to say that I think it's the right move. The Guardian again, Dan Wootton is their latest victim. Yeah. Now, whether you like Dan Wootton or not, whether you believe the people in the Guardian article or not, I would say this to you guys again, like I said, about the people that apparently went to the Guardian over Noel Clarke. Why are all of these people going to the media and not going to the police? Right?
Cancel culture.
If a crime has been committed, like they believe a crime, so why are they going to the newspaper instead of going to the police and handling it the proper way? Yeah. Because what this tells me is, right, whether you like Dan Wootton or not, and let me make it clear, I think he's a slimy piece of crap. I think he's arrogant. You know, I've been waiting for him to get a bit of a comeuppance, to be quite honest with you. But there's more to this than meets the eye.
Yeah.
Right? Also, just want to point out that Dan Wootton happens to be a gay man and that Noel Clarke happens to be a black man. And they've done 2 hit pieces on those two. And when Piers Morgan actually brought up the fact about Noel Clarke's and nothing came of it. There was a female journalist on a blonde hair, and she made a comment. You know, it was some snarky bloody comment, and it was like, So let me get this straight. You believe the newspaper over the police because the police have already said there's nothing for him to answer. And why do you have such contempt for Noel Clarke? I'm going to say it. I'll probably get into trouble for it, but here it goes. I honestly do believe that the Guardian newspaper and the journalists that work for that organisation are a bunch of racist, homophobe pieces of shit and need to be called out. This is, whether you like it or not, I want Dan Wootton to get his comeuppance over Johnny Depp, but this is not the way to do it, right? And I think the Guardian, again, are abusing their power by releasing this story by whoever's released the story, his ex-boyfriend or something, right? Without any hardcore evidence to back up their claims, right? If this person, the ex-boyfriend, actually had hardcore evidence, he would not be going to the Guardian newspaper, just like the women who apparently went to the Guardian newspaper over Noel Clarke, right?
Yeah.
If they had hard evidence, they would have went to the police, right? Now, Noel Clarke was smart enough to do the freedom of information thing on himself.
Freedom of information.
Yeah. And he was able to see, and in over 40 years of his life that he's alive on this earth, he's never been in trouble once with the law, right? He even reported that. Even 4 detectives backed him up on that. He hasn't faced any charges, but yet the Guardian newspaper went ahead with the article anyway, just like they did with Dan Wootton. Even if I don't like that bloke, you know, fair is fair. Why aren't these people going to the fucking police? And you've got to ask that question. And people need to start questioning the Guardian. What kind of fucking journalists over there? What is that? Have you no integrity? Have you not? Have you no morals?
I don't.
Like, if you had any respect, if you had any morals and any integrity, you would say to a potential victim, please go to the police. We will go with you. We will support you. But go to the police.
You going to the police.
Right. Yes, exactly. But they don't. I could go into the Guardian tomorrow and say, listen, I have a story on such and such.
Yeah.
And this is what happened to me.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm devastated. Right. Give it all that. Mm-hmm. Right. And they print that shit. They will print it. Right. No evidence to back them up. They will print it. The Guardian needs to be called out. Right.
Yeah.
But not only that. Listen, I've got stuff on The Guardian, which I should have done a long time. I should have done that stream a long time ago. But The Guardian have also been accused of bullying former employees too. One of these employees has actually gone as far as to write a whole article on what was going on in that organisation. Like the BBC, The Guardian is rotten to the core, right? Yeah. And I can tell you now, if there was a hit, if the hit piece was done on Noel Clarke, right, this is another one. Even if you don't like Dan Wootton with every fibre of your being, because I don't, right? You've got to be fair here in this situation. You know, The Guardian again putting out a story based off one side. And I'm glad Dan Wootton actually addressed it on his show, but still the damage has been done. You know what I mean? It's like with Johnny Depp. He's been found innocent, right? Amber was lying. But he's going to live with that monkey on his back, as he said, for the rest of his life. Because there's going to be still people out there that believe that he is an abuser. Right? Yeah. And this is what will happen with Noel Clarke. Doesn't matter if he wins his case. There'll still be people out there that'll think he's guilty. And we've seen it.
And the difference is, and not the difference, I don't know, in Hollywood, it's not just the fact that people might believe this about you. It might be the person who's your agent who believes this. Yeah. It might be a manager. It might be a studio head who believes that. So then your work disappears.
That's it.
And I think that's what people don't connect sometimes. That
you get excommunicated.
You can, even if like for example, I'm really happy Johnny's got this big. I think it's a French movie he's in that was at Cannes and got a really good reception. So it's brilliant. But the fact is,
latest film.
Sorry,
isn't that Ridley Scott's latest film, the one about Napoleon?
Oh no! Depp did one when he was like Louis, one of the French kings.
Oh, Louis the 15th or something, wasn't it?
And he got a really good reception at Cannes for it. But
that's good.
So I was so happy because I was so angry at his treatment because it was such a clear. Let's all go against the fella. Let's all stick by the woman. It was such a clear sort of that.
Yeah.
But
listen, I'm not saying we should listen. I'm not saying we should listen to women or potential victims when they come forward. But this whole belief that we should automatically believe them, I think that's the mistake we have made in society, where a lot of these groups call for that, believe the woman no matter what. And I think that's wrong because unfortunately, like everything, when you try to do good in society, you get these right scumbags that latch onto it, abuse it, and then you have your Amber Heards of the world. And trust me, there'll be many of her in the future if this hadn't been all exposed for what it was. And I think she has single-handedly, they blame Johnny and stuff, but she has single-handedly destroyed the Me Too movement. And she ought to be ashamed of herself because there was good within that movement. Exposing people that were abusing women and stuff is the right thing to do.
Weinstein needed to get
exactly.
His what happened to him. That needed
Exactly. And in cases like that, it was used in the proper way.
Yeah.
But there's going to be scorned women out there, including men, and, they will make up shit just to get back at people. And if people are naive to think that doesn't happen, it does happen whether you like it or not.
Yeah.
And Amber is one of those. Simple as that. And I could say that because Johnny was found, Johnny was found not to be liable. So, she fucked up. So I could say that. She mightn't like it, but that's the truth.
Well, and also with Amber, it wasn't just the revenge angle that you're talking about. It was, I'm going to get myself more popular. I'm going to get more jobs. Because if I'm seen as this horrible victim, Hollywood will be more sympathetic and will be
and rally around me.
It was a massive PR thing to get her more clout.
Narcissism.
That's what it was as well.
And it backfired on her now because she's hiding in Spain now.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then she was caught then on camera having a poo in the streets in Spain. I mean, you already pooed once in someone's bed and then you get caught pooing on the streets of Spain. I mean, you're not. I mean, if you're trying to prove to the world that you're a nice woman and stuff, I mean, you didn't do yourself any justice. And then when you are that poor actor that you were sitting on the steps with, which is our pizza boxes, and I was like, "Oh, please, mate," because the way he was looking at her, I said, "Please, mate, don't get stay away." Right, and she looked like a train wreck anyway. She looked like she had a few. You get me? Right? She has that problem, and she has that problem, and she has other problems, and she needs instead of our agency and our agents all defending her, right? What they should be doing is getting her ass into rehab, getting her the help that she needs, because she clearly has some issues, which we all go through. There's no shame in it, but she needs to sort out our issues so she can be a better person. You know what I mean? But no, they don't. Do you think Noel will be... Hold on. What's this one?
Do you think Noel will get back into making productions?
It'll depend. He's hoping. Of course he's hoping. I mean, he has something on Netflix, doesn't he, that recently hit #1?
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah,
was it an old thing of his?
Lee is in the chat. He'd be able to tell us. Yeah, there was one of his shows that was number one or something. It might have been I don't know if it was an old show or something he'd written recently, but he was talking about it on his Twitter account.
Well, that's good for him then. That's really good.
That's good, yeah. Yeah.
Mark lives up the road from George Best's house. Georgie Best. Yeah. Actually, it wasn't the drink that killed him. It's actually quite weird. He was it was a combination of stuff, but it wasn't actually due to alcohol, like everybody believed it was.
Yeah.
His autopsy showed it was something completely different. His body was basically rejecting the organ. It's actually sad the way he.
Oh, it sounds painful.
Sad.
Yeah.
It's actually sad, man, because everybody
Nice
thought
way to go.
because it was George Best. He's at the drink again after getting a second chance at luck, but it wasn't this time. You know, he was actually really trying hard not to. And for George Best, listen, if anybody grew up during the George Best era, obviously I wasn't around at the early part of his era, but the later part, the 80s, obviously. But for anybody knows, George Best was, you know, he was women loved him, men wanted to be him, but he loved to drink, and back then in those days, you know, everybody loved to drink, but George.
So there was a culture, wasn't there, of drinking?
Yeah,
back
but George really loved to drink.
Lindsay, not many people like them.
Are you Barbie or Oppenheimer or neither? Well, I'm going to watch both of them, but I've seen the reviews for the Barbie movie. Grace Randolph put out her review, which said it was a great feminist movie. And in fairness, I've seen a lot of people kind of moan and bitch about that comment. But what did you expect from what were you expecting from a Barbie movie?
And also, it's Grace Randolph.
Yeah.
You know, and to be quite honest, yeah, Charlotte has said it. I mean, this is Grace Randolph, for God's sake.
I mean,
right?
after that Super Mario Brothers review, it's like I don't think anybody should take.
Listen, you don't take that woman seriously after a Super Mario Brothers movie review, right? Okay, but I'll watch both. I'm going to support both movies. I will say I'm looking forward to Oppenheimer a lot more than I am Barbie. I'm just watching the Barbie movie because it's got Margot Robbie in it, and you know, quite honestly, you know, I think, you know, Hollywood needs a couple of hits, and if this is actually a good movie, it deserves to be supported. I'll give it a go. I mean, if it's
and
crap,
it just looks fun. That's why I want
it
to go see
it. It does. The trailers look fun. Look, the trailers look great. I'm not going to lie. I know some people have a problem with some of the guys in it, but listen, what did you expect at Barbie's world? What I don't know what we expecting Ken and all these blokes to be macho and stuff. I mean, obviously, you haven't been paying attention. Who is George Best? Says Tar the Spider. I think you need to leave the chat.
It's hard. It's not the right thing to say.
I'm only messing. George Best was a Manchester United legend, Northern Ireland footballer who was probably the most naturally gifted footballer that I've ever seen. Even when just before he retired from football, he was still a great footballer. He just let drink get the better of him, really, and he retired a lot younger than he should have. But he's a legend. So he used to play for this. Sorry, I keep forgetting the camera is reversed. So he used to play for this wonderful team here, Manchester United. You've probably heard of them.
Manchester City, yeah.
Now, No, Manchester United.
I'm joshing you, mate. I'm joshing you.
I was seeing what reaction you got then, PD.
No. That's like coming in and telling me you're a Liverpool supporter. You get removed. Simple. We don't have any of those scousers in here, right? Right. Simple as that.
Disclaimer:
right.
We love Liverpool.
Yeah.
No. Disclaimer: they love Liverpool. I think it's a dump. There you go. All right. Okay, that's where we put our bins. Liverpool. Yeah.
Yes. So.
Do you know what? Here's a joke for you. Do you know why the pigeons in Liverpool fly upside down? Because the people aren't worth shitting on. There you go. There's a joke for you there now, all the way from Dublin, Ireland. Yeah, watch. I'm going to be cancelled after that one. I'll be cancelled after that one.
Yeah, that's the Irish version. The London version is Birmingham, not Liverpool.
Yeah. Oh, why don't they put their hands out the window? Hold on. Why don't passengers put their hands out to? No, I probably shouldn't say this. Okay.
Think how you're going to word it.
No. It's worded perfectly. Why don't people put their hands out for a bus in Liverpool?
Why?
Because when they take back their hand, they realise all their jewellery has been robbed.
Oh, God.
That's just as good as a joke about
London now. Oh.
We don't like Liverpool fans, right? I'm only messing. I hope you really didn't go.
You're messing, Peter. You're joshing.
Let me see. Did he go?
It's Noel Tardis.
He didn't really go. Come on.
Glad Sadako's not around tonight.
No, hold on. He didn't go, did he? That was a joke. I was clearly laughing. You all see it. I was clearly laughing. We already know how the Oppenheimer movie ends, yeah? It ends with a bang.
Bang, yeah.
Yeah. I hope Tardis Spider didn't take me seriously.
I'll have to tell him. You're joking.
It was a joke.
I know. Some things get lost in translation across the Atlantic, mate.
That is a crap joke. I don't care if it's a crap joke. I think it's funny. It's funny.
Irish sense of humour, folks.
Yeah. You know, most of the jokes work on London now.
Liverpool gave us Lily Savage and Tom Baker. Yeah,
Paul McGann.
Yeah, okay. Okay, three of the best people. Okay.
Great Charles.
I'll give you that. But they're the only three people that I like from Liverpool.
Yeah.
The rest
can
go
John Bishop as well. Oh, God.
The rest can go and walk alone, as they say. Or as they say, they never walk alone. But they would be if they were over here in Dublin. Let me see.
See, we got a Scouser in the chat.
We do have a Scouse in the chat. That's why he's giving me the lip. That's what he's saying. It's a crap joke. I'm sorry, right. I'm sorry, but no Scouse is allowed. Sorry, Peter. You shouldn't have revealed your identity.
Hey, Matt.
Yeah, you have to go now. I'm only messing.
Yeah. So we got an Aussie in the chat now, so it's fine.
Aussie.
Yeah.
It's
we've got Matt in the chat now from down under, so it's fine. We've got representation, as I like to call it. As Gary calls it.
You've got global version of that.
Listen, right. Walked eyebrow, you got me there, right? But can I just say as an Irishman that we actually fucking hate Mrs. Brown just as much as you do.
God,
so both of us are the same. Listen, the material that Brendan O'Carroll is doing is material he had 25 years ago. The reason why I know is because I was at his stand-up comedies when he was actually fucking funny. None of this shit that he does on his show, Mrs. Brown's Boys, is funny. But you people from you Brits, I don't know what drugs you are on or taking over there, but yous all of a sudden love them again. So it's you Brits' fault that he's back on TV because we got fucking rid of him years ago. He was living in America until you was fucking showed interest in him.
That was fine.
We also gave you. Well, we also gave you as well. I won't say we gave you Father Ted, but the writer was from Ireland, so we can't kind of claim that. So
he came over to our side now. He's fine.
Yeah,
like Graham
and the IT crowd. So like we have given you, and the Derry Girls. We given you the Derry Girls.
Derry Girls is good.
Comedy, right? I'm not care comedy. We give you some of the greatest comedy.
Oh, right. I love he's a comedian, but he's in that Tommy Tegan. Is that how you say the surname?
Tommy Turner, yeah, Tommy Turner.
Oh no, have you gone? Funny. He's gone.
Oh
no,
he's back.
Have I lost? No, I was just taking the piss out of you all. Tommy Turner it is. Tommy Turner, yeah, he's
I like
fucking
him.
funny.
I find him
yeah.
funny.
Oh no, he is. He's hilarious. I have to say, even their female comedians, even though I don't think female comedians are as funny, but some of our female comedians are actually funny compared to their American counterparts. I think Brits and Irish women are funny anyway because where we come from. What about Father Ted? Yeah, Father Ted was great, but Mrs. Brown, you love Mrs. Brown's, but
my mum likes it. I don't.
Mark, I feel sorry for you. I really do. But look, I used to love him, so I can't knock it. But it is trash. It is. I'd rather watch a corpse be electrocuted in a morgue than watch Mrs. Brown's Boys.
I don't know why you do that though.
What?
I don't know why you'd electrocute a corpse in a morgue.
Because
you mean trying to reanimate a corpse in a morgue?
I was going to say, you're trying to make one become an extra for a thriller video or something.
That's it. We got to power this baby up.
Yeah. You're trying to make it dance like an epileptic at a disco. I'm going to hell. I know it. Don't worry.
You're down to hell.
I know I'm going to hell.
I've got to say though, have you seen the video talking about Irish just comedy? And it's not comedian, and it went viral. It's like some Irish family in the kitchen, and the bat gets in the kitchen.
Yeah.
And it's them trying to catch the bat, and it's the funniest.
Oh yeah, I've seen that.
That is hilarious.
Oh, no.
I'll look it up later.
Oh, have you not seen it, Phoebe?
No.
Watch it. It's just so Irish. And I'm saying that knowing Noel's on the stream, just the way they speak and the way they like, mammy, and it's just like,
oh God, yeah.
Well, no, it's just like the dog's in there and it just goes to chaos in the best way possible.
Oh God.
Yeah.
That's insane.
Riverdance was great. It was. But even we're pissed off with that now. But no, at the time, I remember that as a kid. And that night when Riverdance was first seen by everybody around the world. I mean, Ireland at that stage I'll rephrase, it was the richest country in the world. Yes, we were fucking knocking it out of the park back then. But it was all fake anyway, because we ended up broke. But in the 90s, the Celtic Tigers, we were one of the richest countries. Ireland was, punching above its weight. Everybody wanted to learn about Irish culture. It was great. And Michael Flatley and Riverdance did exactly that. It opened up the whole of Irish culture to the world. And it was, I have to be honest, it was amazing. But the Irish have kind of lost that over the last few years, but they're regaining it now because of the stuff that's happening in the country. And it's lovely to see people embrace that Irishness again, because it's been lost for a very long time, got to be honest. No, I haven't seen the new Mission Impossible movie yet.
My brother did. He said it was very good. Saw it last week and he quite enjoyed it.
What else have we got? This question or this?
Did anyone see from Matt Flatley's movie? No. Did you see it, Noel?
Flatley's movies? Are you talking about like Lord of the Dance and Feats of Flame and all of that stuff he shows? Like, yeah, I seen them here in Dublin. Like, you know, being Irish, you got to support. You know, and he did. Michael Flatley, look, he's from Chicago or wherever it was, but he has Irish blood. Like real proper grandparents or something. You know, I don't know the full story, but he's Irish anyway. But he did a lot for this country culture-wise, with Riverdance. So I'm not going to knock him, even if he is a bit more American, but he has an American accent. But he lived in a castle over here, so I mean, he really embraced the whole Lord of the Dance thing, you know. And each leg at the time was actually insured for $30 million each. His legs were insured at one stage.
Wow.
He was the fastest. Seriously, he has the fastest feet. Well, he had the fastest feet in the world, and he had to insure his feet just to make sure that if he got injured, he'd be covered and he could get the top care.
Yeah. It's insane.
I don't know if they're actually talking about Flatley. I don't know what they're talking about there, and I don't think it's the right thing, because even Lee is laughing. It's the new real. I don't even know what they're talking about there. So
I think it's some sort of movie he did. Don't know if it's the same one Matt was talking about.
I am Kieran. Nice to see you in the chat.
Hi, Kieran.
Appreciate you coming in.
Hey, Kieran.
Hold on. I did press for your comment to come up, but this computer is acting like, you know. Riverdance, more Riverdance stuff. Daniel saying there, Riverdance sold out the SECC in Glasgow every year. Yeah, you Scots and Welsh will definitely loved Riverdance. And I mean, the Americans loved it. I mean, the Americans were like, "What's this, man? What? We've never seen anything like this before. What's he do? What are they doing with their feet? Like, how are they able to do that?" Like, it's Irish dancing. You know, even growing up to try to get me to Irish dance, but I've got two left feet. So me trying to do Michael Flatley across the stage, I fall on me fucking face. Like,
probably like twist your ankle or something.
I mean, yeah, trying to get me to, sure, listen, man, if I tried to do the river dance, I drowned.
Yeah, I heard that one.
That's why I never got into tap dancing, because I was afraid of falling down the sink.
Well, Dad Joke City tonight. DJC, Dad Joke City. You're listening to Dad Joke City.
Lee is off. Oh, Lee is off.
Bye-bye, Lee.
Later, buddy.
Working on the new logos there, man. The new nose on logos.
It'll come in due course. You get like Stewie. Is there some new logos? You gonna finish some new logos for me?
Hi, Cam. He's just joined us.
Like that. Hey, Cam.
Yeah, I'm catching up on this, Chan. Nearly there, folks. I'm nearly there. Don't worry. We started that because I went on a 15-minute rant. So it wasn't a rant, but it was a 15-minute explanation to why I'm not watching Doctor Who and why I've rebranded, because a lot of people have asked. So the short answer was no, I'm not covering Doctor Who. So there you go. Even and all, sorry I'm late. Well, you're going to love this conversation because we're just talking random shit that just pops up on time.
I'm blocking myself. Oh, God, mate, yeah.
I don't even know what I'm doing here. Cam, yeah, he said hello there. Nice to see you. No,
and you also missed Noel's camera not working.
Okay. It got 20% on Rotten Tomatoes. Okay. Oh, signed up for Rotten Tomatoes I have now. And I've went in, I've given me review of a couple of things, especially TJ Hooker, because I was looking at the reviews from the journalists. Listen, reviewers. Do you know what I'm just going to say about reviewers today, right? You're talking about, you haven't got a clue. So when you were reviewing TJ Hooker, they were obviously reviewing it in their 2020 lens or whatever when they made their comment. oh, this is a typical cop show with the usual tropes and blah, 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 blah. And it's crap and William Shatner is wasted and blah, 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 blah. So I was like, nah, not having that shit. Sign up. Bang, bang, bang. A great cop show. What was my review? TJ Hooker is a great cop show. Hard-hitting stories. Dealing with the social issues of the time, drugs, alcohol abuse, and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And William Shatner really comes into his own. I gave a proper review, man, and I whacked her up there, and I gave it 5 fucking stars because I'm enjoying that show. Fuck you, you young fucking poxy fucking journalists, fucking reviewers. You haven't got a fucking clue, right? If you can't review shows out without using your 2020 lens, you shouldn't be reviewing classic shows. It's as simple as that. Seriously, man, I'm sick of that shit. We're knocking that show. That show is fucking brilliant, man. Once you get past, as I said, Shatner's hamminess, right? Yeah. In some episodes, he chews up the fucking scenery. He chews up the scene.
I know.
It's fucking brilliant, man. I didn't realize how good. Listen, I watched that as a kid, right? And as a kid, actually watching it now, I'm like, how did my parents actually allow me to watch this show? But back then, they didn't care about shit like that. It was just put on if it was on the TV, you watched it, sort of thing. But they did. They dealt with, you know, alcohol and drug abuse, gang-related violence, you know, cops being shot, gunned down, and all of this. And they were even talking about, you know, William Shatner's character, TJ Hooker, saying, well, you're taking away the tools for us where we have to use lethal force. So they're even talking about issues like that back in this show, but it was so well done. I was like, I'm blown away. I'm on season 2 and I'm loving it. And Leonard Nimoy is about to do his cameo now, so I can't wait to see that.
Yeah. And you got Thingy from Battlestar Galactica in it as well. Played Apollo in the original.
Yeah, no more Who. But as I said, that's just my choice.
That was at the beginning of the stream.
Yeah.
But here's the thing: it's like Shatner. That was his bread and butter to be hammy at that point.
Yeah.
It was his appeal.
That was a Shatmeister general all in one. He loved being hammy. He loved doing hammy.
If he played something straight, it was odd.
Yeah.
No, but in this, there is. I'm telling you though. This is the thing. He does. I'm not going to sit here and say he doesn't ham it. Of course he does. He hams it up in a lot of it. But there are scenes and there are episodes where he's actually being serious, and there's not a laugh until the end of the episode where one of them will make a stupid comment or tell a stupid joke or do something funny, right, and it'll end like that to leave it on a kind of a. Because the episode is so, you know, dire with the content that they're actually discussing, that they give you the nice little happy ending at the end, you know, maybe a joke or a quip or something like that. But when he needs to be serious, like the episode with his wife, right? His wife at the time, she played a blind woman in it, right? And he was fucking brilliant in that episode. The two of them, the chemistry. You could tell that they were husband and wife because there was chemistry even there, even though apparently their marriage was a bit on the rocks at that time, but there was chemistry there. But Jesus Christ, man, his wife was actually a stunner back then.
Yeah.
And she played a blind woman in it, and it was great. She was being targeted by this serial killer. It was madness, man. Show was mad. I don't care what anybody says. Will you not be adding to your everybody is I know that. Look, I know people are right now are kind of finding this decision a bit hard to take, because I've had it on Facebook as well. People asking me why I've rebranded. Look, I won't be adding that, and I've got posters there that I plan to put up when I paint it. It's not happening.
Yeah.
I just don't feel like I can support this show anymore. So I can't even watch Classic Who now. That's why I'm watching all these other shows. I just can't bring myself to watch Doctor Who. So it's done for me. They've actually made me hate something that I've loved for over 40 years. So, no, I'm done. She's in the second season, yeah. She appeared in the second season. Yeah, she's in the second season. And again, you know, she's pretty blonde. But again, she was given, even in what the latest episode that I watched, she went undercover because this bloke was going around raping women, and she went undercover, and it's very fucking intense, like. So again, every character is used in this show. You know, it's not just for the sake of box kicking. As I said, we chat with Christian on here yesterday. You know, show like that, you know, breaks the whole narrative about there was no diversity and inclusion and talking about these social, like that. TJ Hooker is a show, even though it was hammy in places. TJ Hooker is a show that shows you how it's done.
Yeah.
And how, if you want to get a message across to your audience without it bashing them across the head, then a show like TJ Hooker will show you how it's done. Because it's done cleverly. None of the characters are wasted. They're given a bit of backstory, dialogue, all of that. You know, each episode's 45 minutes long. There's no continuous kind of thread here. It's separate stories all the way through. But again, you know, even though there's new characters introduced each week, a guest star introduced each week, it's like as if you know that guest star because they're very well developed within the first couple of minutes of meeting them. So you know a lot about them, and then if they're in danger, you're actually caring about that character.
Yeah.
But this show is a perfect example, and shows of that era. And this is what I was trying to say yesterday with the conversation with Christian. Shows of that era actually could show Hollywood how it's done. They did it right before. This is the thing that I can't understand. They were doing it right in the 80s.
Yeah.
So how we
I
got
think the
here?
difference. No, I think the difference is back then they just thought, I'm going to write a good story with good characters, and because of how LA's always been like a melting pot, it's always had lots of different groups and people in it, that they naturally would have been exposed to diversity as we think about it now.
Yeah.
So you combine that with just, like I said, they wanting to write a good story, you naturally got it. Whereas now, writing a good story is second or third or fourth. You've got so many other things in front of that. Not for all writers. I do think there are still some very good writers and some very good shows. But the problem is there's also a big old lot of rubbish, which just needs to get whistled down, and we just need to get back to writers who want to concentrate on the story and the characters again.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And if you do that also, plus side, you can do it from any walk of life, from any group, if you're skilled enough.
Yeah. Exactly.
It's like there's something I sort of a really geeky thing I like to watch, but it's a YouTube thing, and it's I like to watch like people play Dungeons and Dragons and do that sort of stuff. So that's role playing. That's really naturally you can do whatever the imagination is. You're basically making up a character anyway, so it's really open. And I really love Critical Role, and the first like campaign, it's sort of known as in Dungeons and Dragons, I watched. My favourite character was Bai. And I loved him. But that's because he had so many other layers. That was a part of him. And he got brought up in the story, of course. But there were so many other layers. So that just shows you can do it. You can experiment. You can be different. But the Liam O'Brien, who was the voice actor, because the whole sort of appeal with Critical Role is they're all voice actors. So they're all sort of industry, but it's voice industry, which I've said before is very different to actors on screen. You don't get the same sort of rubbish as much. You do get it a bit, but you don't get it as much. and he just naturally was playing this character, and he was brilliant. Vax, he was called, and he's like one of my favorite characters.
Yeah.
Oh, Gobby. Yeah, right, so I'm on TJ Hooker now. But I have started Knight Rider, and I did watch the first episode of The first episode of Airwolf is actually, I never realised how good the first episode of Airwolf is, but that whole intro at the start is amazing, even for them. It's amazing, and when the helicopter starts off, you're like, oh, yeah. Look, man, Charlotte is right. They are still making decent TVs. There are some that are getting through. Unfortunately, let's be honest, as she has said, we're getting mostly shite though. There are few and far between like you were. I mean, we were spoiled back then. But at the same time as well, think about it. A lot of us only had 3 or 4 channels growing up, right? In America, obviously, they had a few more, right? And then in Ireland and the UK then start getting more channels as the years went on, right? But we all started off with 3. So those 3 or 4 channels, if you think about it, have to actually make quality entertainment. So we're fighting with each other. Now there's so many that you're flooding the fucking whole thing with a shitload of crap. And as Charlotte said, there are some shows, but they're few and far between. And then, ultimately, then the shows that you really do like, they're the ones they end up cancelling. They're the ones they end up shelving, and they just carry on with the same rubbish that nobody's watching. But I think I was only thinking about this last night. I was saying it to myself. I think the advent of more television stations, and then the advent of streaming services and so, I think that's ruined TV. I really do. I think if we just had the stations that we still had today, and the same as the station we had in America with the cable TV, I think we'd be sitting here with a better catalogue of TV shows and movies to show for it, and Hollywood would be in a better position, and BBC and all of them, because they'd be making quality, because they'd have to compete. Because remember, BBC were competing with ITV was competing with BBC, Channel 4 was just like in its own little corner doing its own little thing. Remember Channel 4? But Channel 4 was always the station that we praised, because they did do those things that ITV and BBC wouldn't do, and that's why they stood out on their own little thing. And we actually used to back and rally for Channel 4 because they used to do these things. But that's the way it was Saturday and Sunday night. These 2 stations, as soon as you got all of those other stations, man, it was game over.
Yeah.
It was game over. This is why, and you forgot the A-Team, but the A-Team was great. Cadney and Lacey, Chips, all of them. Grew up with every single one of those shows. What a childhood.
I think also with streaming, it gave them a real false confidence, didn't it?
Yeah.
That they were like, oh, we've got all these subs, all these people watching us. We can basically do whatever. We can make whatever program we want. And then they thought it was never going to burst the bubble, and now it really has. And you're seeing a lot of streaming services start to struggle.
Yeah, seriously. Really are. I mean, Disney's struggling at the moment. I don't know what to do. Disney Plus.
Disney's just
struggling.
Fire.
They're radioactive at the moment, as some people would say.
Oh, Highway to Heaven was great, man. Jesus Christ, even Little House on the Prairie and the Waltons, man. Like, it might be your cup of tea of a show, but they were wholesome show. You had the Wonder Years as well. I mean, we were absolutely spoiled. We know it. You know what? It's only when we get older we realise how good we actually had it. I mean, music, TV, culture, everything was just so much better. People say, oh, yes, they're all doom and gloom. No wonder we're all doom and gloom. Because we were spoiled back then. We were given, everybody got something. That was the thing about it. Everybody got something. There was something out there that appealed to everybody. Different shows, different, it's just like, you look at Hollywood, we'll pander to the LGBTQ+. Now we stop pandering to them. Now we pander to black people now. Now we've done that. We'll do the whole Asian thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Instead of just fucking good stories. Listen, you want more Latinas in stories, then there's plenty of Latina culture out there to be explored, but you won't do that. You just want to give them hand-me-downs. This is why we complain. I don't like that. You don't respect these people. You never have. You don't respect it. Chris Chibnall was the perfect example. I don't want to get into it, but he was the perfect example on this side of the pond on how he basically disrespected and tricked and pandered to the LGBTQ lot in this fandom. For what? For views. And how did that go, Chilies? But they praise him because he was some sort of, I don't know, hero.
Visionary.
But he never gave a shit about them. And he proved it when he did give them the kiss. Because listen, any writer worth their salt and conviction, right, would have said, fuck the fans that are giving out, right? This needs a resolution. They want Tasman, they're getting Tasman, right? But he didn't. He didn't have the guts to do it. He didn't have the guts to do it, just like he didn't have the guts to fix the rest of his plot holes. Because he's just a pandering little twat. Just like they all are Disney. And Bob Iger, him staying on. Disney is fucked. Doctor Who is fucked. Right? And it is. Because BBC is on the verge. Disney, it's on. The Doctor Who's on Disney right now. Right? But you give it a year and Disney will have to break that deal with BBC because they won't be able to afford to keep it on that platform. Because you wait and you see the next movies that Disney have coming out. They have flop written all over them.
Miss Marvel, whatever that thing is.
Right?
Yeah.
They've got flop written all over it. It's done. Listen, Disney is done. They don't even know they're done. I never thought this could get, because it was so big, never thought this could happen. I'm loving this. This is the best thing that could do. Disney needs to be brought down a peg or two.
Yeah.
Because, Walt Disney, listen, no matter what you think of Walt Disney, people could say he was racist, this, that, and the other, right? But you know what? About one thing about Walt Disney, he understood Disney. He understood.
Oh yeah, he certainly did.
He actually understood his audience, right, better than anybody fucking else. And I think since he's died, the people that have taken over Disney have not done his name or the company justice. They've had a few hits along the way. We won't lie. They've had one or two, right? We'll give them credit where credit is due. But overall, the best period was under Walt himself when they were making those hit movies. And Disney has never been the same. It's never been the same since. Yes, during the 80s, they made the family movies, what we consider live action movies, but, with Steve Martin and stuff like that, in association with Touchstone Pictures and all of that. And they were great movies, right? They did well on that part. But they haven't, animation-wise, they've been shit for years, right? And now they realised the shit, so they said, I'll tell you what, we do live action versions of the back catalogue. We got no reason. I'm aware of it as well now, right? Okay. Snow White. Okay, who are we gonna cast for Snow White? Let's see. Her skin's too white. I think we'll go with this actress here. She's Latina. Okay. Yeah, we'll change Snow White now. She's Latina, so we call her Snow. What's her Snow? It's not Snow White anymore. So what we calling her now? Right.
Latina Tan.
And can I say another point about those pictures? Right. It looks so cheap.
Oh God!
Apparently, though, hold on. Disney did try to defend that because they came out with a statement very quickly to say that they were only promotional images and they weren't actually the images and the costumes.
I don't care. That looked like they spent about 50 cents on the whole thing.
Listen, they went to a costume shop. They went to their own costume shop in Disneyland, right? And they said, right, this is the Snow White 7, the workshop. I want you to give me 7 costumes and the cheapest Snow White costume you have. Nah, man, that movie, listen. Again, they're ruining another animation movie. Leave it out, right? If you can't make a proper Snow White movie by casting someone that has white skin, well then fucking forget about it. Right? I'm sick of this shite, right? I'm pretty sure that there's fucking fairy tales out there from South American countries that Disney could tap into. But no, what they want to do is they want to get our original established characters and say, oh, here you go, here's a hand-me-down. We're going to give you Snow White. Well done.
Yeah. Just looks terrible.
And it's just, I don't get the whole, let's not actually have dwarfs. Let's just have a random crew of people.
Yeah, I know, they're just like seven blokes.
Yeah, it's just like seven random blokes.
Yeah.
And tell me, and I'll say it, you know, people can frown all they want, but where in that book is there a black dwarf?
Wasn't. It was based in Germany. It was all based in Germany.
Exactly. So I mean, you know what I mean? Like, no. I'm sorry, they're going to do these things, do them properly, or don't do them a fucking all. Sick of this crap. Pandering to idiots.
But the good thing is now, I think, for a while, the live action movies had that sort of, oh, it's different enough, or it's novelty, sort of giving it money. And because of Little Mermaid, that's gone now.
Yeah.
They've not got that to save them. So if they're bad movies, they're going to be treated as bad movies.
Yeah.
Actually, yeah. How did Little Mermaid? Nobody spoke about that since that came out. That must have flopped hard.
I think it just about broke even, or didn't even manage that. It made money, but nowhere near the amount of money it needed to.
So broke nearly even. So basically, made its money back, but still made a loss because breaking even means nothing.
Yeah.
I can't remember if it was a loss last time I looked at it or it was break even. It wasn't profit, let's put it that way. They nowhere made profit on that movie.
No, not at all.
With all the marketing they made, all the money they put into marketing for that thing, it got so many TV spots, didn't it, PD? It got Super Bowl trailers.
Yep, certainly did.
So, yeah, they've lost money on that.
Badly. Yeah, it's such a shame. It's not a shame, but, you know, the shame is we told them this would happen. We all said it's going to happen. We all said this is
Snow White and the 7 diversity hires.
That's what I call it. I call it Latina Tan and the 7 diversity hires.
Right. And the little mirror inclusivity maid.
That's the one.
Right. Listen, right, don't give a shit. Mermaids are in black. End of story. Yeah. Right, you want to call me a racist? I don't give a shit.
Well, it's not that, no. It's the father's Spanish. It's like, it doesn't make sense.
Yeah, exactly, right. If you wanted to make Little Mermaid a little bit tan, then you should have cast a Spanish person, right? Because it comes from that area, as you said. So there you go, right? Then you would have got your diversity because you would have brought in a Spanish actress to play Ariel.
Rachel Zegler would have looked better as a Little Mermaid.
And then you put her in the movie, then that looks cheap.
I know.
I wouldn't even mind if they actually put her in the movie and if they actually made it good. This is the thing, though. If they actually made a decent movie with her in it, people would say, okay, I didn't necessarily agree with what they did, but this is a great movie.
Yeah.
You know? But they don't. They write shite.
Absolute crap, yeah.
Do you know what also they did, which just boggles my mind with that? Apparently they made it nearly 3 hours, the movie.
Oh my God.
3 hours.
Kids. No, from what I can understand, I think it was nearly 3 hours. It was ridiculously long.
Well, it doesn't matter because anybody that was going to see the movie was kicking the shit out of each other. Did you see all the video clips? Kids there watching The Little Mermaid while their parents are beating the shit out of each other.
Oh, God.
I'm not listening. Go on Twitter.
But this is my point. It's like, that's just a basic thing that you should know if you're movie people, that this is a movie for families with small children.
Yeah.
You don't make it long because kids will not sit for that long.
No, the kids hardly sit for an hour and a half movie.
No, so that's like your limit.
Double. Yeah.
Because apparently they added loads of stuff to it that was not in the original movie. Hence the runtime going up.
Yeah, weird.
And that's what I don't get with Disney. It's like, it's even the common sense it's the common sense movie things that they should know. Like, if you're going to do a movie underwater, your CGI needs to look amazing. It needs to look knockout if you're doing that much of it. You don't do it badly or cheaply or have half the movie in darkness to disguise your CG. Like, you don't make it
like
long.
you did with the Robert Pattinson Batman. You couldn't fucking see half of that movie.
Yeah, apparently loads of the movie was dark. Just to look at, as in like.
Oh no, we watched it. I watched it with Cheryl. You couldn't fucking see it. Even Cheryl asked me, "Have you turned up the brightness on the TV?" Because we couldn't see it. I said the brightness is up, man. It's just the movie. It's fucking. And you're right. To do all of that darkness to cover their either their shitty fucking choreographed fights or their bad fucking costumes or whatever, man. But that movie was too dark. I couldn't fucking see that movie. Like, it was an average movie, even without what I could see. But it probably would have been a lot better if I could actually see what was fucking going on. I know the whole point is Batman was fighting in the dark. But we're the audience. We need to fucking see, even if it is in the dark, we still need to fucking see him fighting.
Yeah, and also traditionally, he hides in the dark, doesn't he, Batman?
Yeah.
And then he comes out to fight. That's the whole thing. Yeah. It's like that's what he does. He hides on a gargoyle, or he does like whatever in the dark, and then he swoops out. And
it's Batman.
That's what I mean. It's just like basic movie sense seems to have gone out the window.
Yeah, it's to individuality. I want to do it my way, put my mark on it.
It's not that. Look, the advent of CGI and all of that other technology made them lazy.
That as well. That as well.
And now they're giving out that AI because it's actually doing a better job than them.
Yeah,
I mean, like this is the funny thing about this whole strike. I mean, AI is doing a better job than you morons. So and then you want us to feel sorry for you. You know, I hope you all lose your jobs because you don't deserve to be in the industry. Because for the last 10 years, as I said yesterday, 10 years, these are giving us nothing but bullshit. Call fans racist, bigots, sexist. Yeah, I hope you all lose your job. I hope the studios, I don't like the studios, but I hope they do hold out, and I hope they force you back because you have no money and you are made go back and work until you either make something decent, and then we'll talk about your pay and your conditions and all of that. But a lot of you will leave because you haven't got the stomach for the fight, and that's what we want. We want to purge. Get rid of you mediocre writers, and hopefully Hollywood then brings in people that are actually worth the money that they're on and have talent. Because I'm sick of all of these talentless hacks in the industry that are on the picket lines. You can stay on the fucking picket lines. We don't give a shit. Yeah. Actually, American TV, I've been told, is a lot better since you're all on strike because we're all watching back the glory days. So stay on the picket line. This is the best period of TV that we've had. And he's hardly even making out because we're going back and watching everything that we grew up with. So stay there. Don't ever come back. We don't want you back. So, and all you actors like Tom Cruise and Margot Robbie and all you other fucking gobshites, get back into the fucking studios and make these movies, right? These people that you're supporting are a bunch of knobheads. Yeah, they can't write to save their fucking lives. We got fans that can write better shit than them. Right?
True. Yeah, true.
Fucking Star Wars gone down the pan. Ruined that fucking franchise. Who ruined it? A bunch of fucking shit writers. That's who ruined it. Indiana Jones. Bunch of shit fucking writers. Right? Yep. The main one, Phoebe Waller-Bridge, still working in fucking Hollywood. That bitch is fucking...
And having a studio head called Kathleen Kennedy.
Yeah, still failing fucking upwards. Kennedy. Right? Failing upwards.
Yeah.
I wonder what she's doing to fucking fail upwards because not a fucking writing, I can fucking tell you that.
Yeah.
Right?
True.
Okay. Don't know what the fuck you Brits. Or what you just fucking did is unleash that woman onto Hollywood. Worst thing you ever fucking did.
We didn't.
Right, she's round Star Wars and fucking Indiana Jones. Lucasfilm is fucking done. They've destroyed it. Do you know what? I actually think Kathleen Kennedy done this deliberately because I've been watching movies where she's been the executive producer of all of these old movies where she was working with Frank Marshall and Spielberg. And George Lucas. And then you look at the shit. She's doing it deliberately, man. One of those blokes treated her like shit, or all of them treated her like shit, and this is her revenge. Because she's acting like a woman, Scott, because she's determined to ruin everything.
Yeah.
Even the fucking games EA are releasing are much better than fucking what they're putting on TV.
Yeah.
Oh, the Star Wars games have been some of the best things out of Star Wars the last 5 years.
Yeah. Funny that.
We had Fallen Order.
Yeah, I haven't played that yet. I've got it though.
Hey guys, I'm at the airport. Have a good stream. Yeah, don't be listening to me on a plane, man. People will say, what the hell's going on? I'll be like, the snake's on the plane! Ladies and gentlemen, this is an announcement from your captain. We have lost both engines and we're about to crash into the ocean. Please do not panic, as you will be dead.
You wouldn't have much time to do so. Nah.
Final destination, your ass.
Yeah.
No rats. Bloody big spiders.
I think that's when Gobby was cleaning out the sewers or drains or whatever he was doing.
Jesus. Yeah, I don't like that job, mate. The Noel Zone, I recommend a movie called Empire from 1965, directed by Andy Warhol. Yeah, how do I put this? Andy Warhol was a fucking con artist. I don't like him. Basically.
Yeah, no.
Him and his pop art. Fuck off, man. Con artist, man.
Oh God, did you see the film where he's eating the burger? Oh my God, how pretentious. I had to watch that in college. It was like, oh, that's the most pretentious.
I mean, even any movie that they portray him in, he just comes across, and I've seen the clips of him and interviews of him. He is a fascinating man. I will say he had an interesting brain to pick, but I don't know. There's something about him that always.
He was an alien. You know, there you go.
I mean, it was the pop art thing. I mean, the fact that he's made famous for that shit. Yeah. And then even the reporter at the time said, well, how do you feel like ripping off basically someone else's art? Well, I've done something else with it. I've added colours and great. You do that today, someone say, that's not fucking art.
I don't know. Today, anything can be art.
Yeah.
But actually, I've seen some weird art, what they call. Actually, I saw a piece of art, not a word of a lie. A piece of art, right? I'm not messing, right? This is actually art, apparently. So this artist got a load of buckets, right? And all the buckets were filled with sand. And he piled the buckets up on top of one another, right? So he stands there and he's admiring it. And then next of all, he tips it. And all the buckets fall over and the sand falls over. And he just basically stands up like this. He goes like this. And bells, and everybody's clapping like, bucket! Sand fell out of a bucket!
Oh, I know.
Sand fell out of a bucket! Multiple buckets. How is that art?
Yeah.
How is that art? I tell you what, I'll go in and have a shit right now, right? Make it a funny little shape and all, right? I'll stick it on a piece of cardboard. I'll put it in the freezer. Take it out a couple of hours later. Stick it on camera and say, there's a bit of modern art for you. Here's a candle. Right. Fucking bucket full of 7 buckets or 8 buckets full of sand. He tips it over. It tips over, and that's his modern art.
Oh.
That's modern art. And people pay to fucking see that shit. And tell me what happens, right? So that's your art. What happens? Do you pick that up then, deliver it to someone's house if you want to buy it, and then you tip the buckets over onto the fucking floor or something?
Yeah.
Then they get the fucking hoover with the hoover. What the fuck? People are just stupid, man. Modern art. Oh, you bit of modern art. There's a bit of modern art for you. Monster can. That's art, right? That's art.
I think somebody's actually put thought into the design for that.
Exactly. Yeah. That's why I'm slagging it off, man. That's why I'm saying that's better than fucking some of the art we have to modern.
Oh, I know.
Well, let's see. What else have we got? They turn down the brightness. Yeah, brightness.
Yeah, and that's the other thing, Disney, like, your original classics were so bright and lovely and gorgeous.
Yeah.
So your live action need to be bright, not hard.
Right, back in a minute.
7 Bandits. Yeah, they'll probably have rights now and stand on picket lines. You know? That's the way everything is going nowadays. The 7 Dwarfs in this new version of the movie will probably protest.
I just couldn't get over that dress they had her in. I was just like, really? That's what she's going to be wearing?
You don't need a live action version of Snow White. You've got the original. You don't need another version. I don't even know. Look, Snow White is not bad. It's not one of my favorites, but I'll still watch it. But man,
they're doing it to keep the rights and because they think it needs to be done.
Yeah, if they want to do something, they want to do an updated version of a movie, do Pete's Dragon. But there you go. I mean, they just need to stop. But look, it won't be the end. Snow White, they've got a couple of other live action. Look, the good thing about it is, though, right? The good thing about it is, though, there's only so many animations, right, that they can live action before they actually run out of ideas.
Yeah.
And then what are they going to do next? I'll tell you what they'll do next. They will remake the original animations, but animate them again.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right? Because Disney don't. The people working at Disney have no creativity.
No.
They need to be bringing in people that know what Disney is all about and understands the vision that Walt Disney had for it and what the stories that you're trying. Because could you imagine them trying to do princesses today, like for a bunch of feminist assholes? Fucking, like these are the same assholes that come out and say, Snow White. Snow White is probably going to be problematic. Sleeping Beauty. Right, you see when they get to the live action version of that, they won't be able to do that kissing scene where she's asleep.
No, they'll change it.
You'll have all the feminists. Oh, he kissed her without consent. He kissed her without consent.
No. In Snow White, the same things happen, so they're gonna have to change it.
Yeah.
But that's the thing. The whole point is she's under a sleeping curse that she has to be kissed by the prince to wake up.
Exactly.
Yeah, you know what you probably do? You probably summon the fairy godmother and say, "I need consent to kiss Snow White."
Yeah.
No, he'll get permission off all her little friends.
Yeah.
Do I?
He'll ask every whatever they're going to be called because they're not dwarves, like I said. That's clearly just people.
Special.
No, hang on. You mean to tell me they're not allowed to say Snow White and the 7 Dwarfs anymore? We have to say Snow White and the 7 Little People?
Well, no, here's the thing. They're not dwarves. They've obviously not cast dwarves. They've cast
English.
Actual...
but see, that's what I'm trying to say. That's a promo clip. They will actually, when they're on screen, they will be midgets. They will be little people.
Oh, so they're going to shrink them, okay.
I don't know what the term is nowadays. Is it little people?
I don't know.
See, so many terms, I don't know if it's little people. I think it's little people. So it'll be Snow White and the 7 Little People. Because they can't say 7 Dwarfs.
I don't know what they're going to call it now.
Unless the Dwarfs, like the so-called gay community, where they say they've reclaimed those slur words. Maybe the dwarfs have reclaimed, or little people have reclaimed dwarfs, so it's not offensive. But you see, this is where all the stupidity with society and all the social crap going on comes into effect here. It's ridiculous. It's Snow White the 7 Dwarfs. You have a problem with someone being called a dwarf because of a fucking cartoon, and that's your fucking problem. It means you're the one that has the issue, right?
We'll have to see when it comes out what actually is it called.
Well, you know, they should just call it Snow White and the Seven Diversity Hires. I mean,
That's
just
what
be
I call
accurate
it.
about it, or just call it, you know, it's
Or
not
just
even
call it.
Snow
Do you
White.
know what I can see them doing? I can just see them calling it Snow White.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but Snow White the Seven Dwarfs, right?
We'll see.
Yeah, I don't
We
think
obviously don't know yet, but I can see modern Disney calling it Snow White.
Snow White. Here's Snow White. Except the whole scene with the apple and the kissing is going to be taken out. We're going to change it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not happening. It's not happening because I tell you, Disney will me too for that.
Oh, I've just thought as well. I've just thought of another thing. In the original, the stepmother is like a horrible hag, isn't she?
Yeah.
When she
Yeah.
tricks
Can't
her.
call her a hag now.
And she gets like literally pushed off a cliff. So
Yeah.
it's like, are they going to be
Won't be
able
able
to do
show-
that?
They won't be able to show that either. I mean, this is a shit show, man.
Oh yeah.
It's a shit
Oh.
show.
Total.
Snow White and the Seven Puppets.
Yeah. I know. It looks horrible. Everyone said it looks
Snow
cheap.
White and the Talentless Hacks.
Yeah.
Of course you'd say that, Matt.
Yeah, there's a live action Bambi in the works. That'll be interesting when they kill Bambi's mother in front of Bambi.
Oh.
That's gonna fucking traumatize a lot of fucking kids.
To be fair, in the original, you don't actually see Bambi's mum get shot.
You hear the
You
bang.
just hear it.
That's it.
I know, but still, do you know what? I think the kids should experience the full scene of that.
Yeah.
I think if you really want to get people on side Disney, you need to traumatize the kids. So what you do is you show Bambi's ma.
Yeah.
And the story show the blood and the guts, the whole lot, blood
The exit
squirting
wounds
into
and
people's
everything.
faces, making horror. Actually, they're supposed to be doing a horror anyway, so I was kind of taking.
So it
the
won't be
piss.
Disney then doing it.
So there is a horror Bambi coming out, and I think that's the one actually you're talking about. I don't think Disney is actually doing a live action. I think that's the horror version, where Bambi is obviously going to go on revenge for its mother and eat humans and stuff, and it'll be gory and shit. You know, they've been doing Winnie the Pooh and all of these other characters as horror.
So basically, it sounds like they're going to do Cocaine Bear, but Bambi version.
Yeah, exactly. Bambi taking revenge. Bambi's Revenge will be the second movie in the franchise.
Yeah.
No, but Noel's right. That's the one good thing. Disney's only got so many classic animated, and they've gone through quite a lot already. So we've only got
run out
about 2 years worth of.
Yeah, you're right. About 2 years. I say when they run out, then they're in trouble. Where do they go from there? Right, they'll go full circle.
Because the thing is, the animated studio, really got all those hits like Little Mermaid, Beauty and the Beast, Aladdin, all those massive things. But then they got a massive down spiral, finishing with Treasure Planet. That's what killed the animation studio off for a while.
Yeah. Was that their last animated film?
Technically, their last was Princess and the Frog.
Oh, that's right.
But that was the same year. This is typical Disney stupid logic again. They also released Tangled, which was a CG animated princess movie, the same year as the big let's go back to 2D animation movie.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
So like Tangled just killed the Princess and the Frog because everybody watched Tangled.
Oh,
and Tangled's a lot better. I do quite like Tangled.
Yeah. Rapunzel, wasn't it?
Peter was getting jealous because, he was, he was the high profile little person in Hollywood. And then when he's saying Hollywood wanted to cast more people, in roles, he came out with a stupid fucking statement, didn't he? Because like he
Yeah.
had to go, and then obviously the people in that community came out against Peter Dinklage. Listen, Peter Dinklage was thinking about Peter Dinklage and
Yeah.
nobody else. He doesn't give a shit about the rest of them in his so-called community because he made it big. To him, pardon the pun, they're little people. So like why would he give a shit when he's a multi-millionaire Hollywood actor now? Do you know what I mean? So he looks down on the rest of them. But that was him where they're trying to get up to now. That was him. And he forgets where his roots were and forgets where he started. And he's gotten a listen, Peter Dinklage is a great actor, but he's an arrogant piece of shit.
Oh,
and
yeah.
he has actually ruined it. And look, I think they will be miniaturized, those people in that promo picture. But if they're not, then Charlotte is right. It's a disgrace. But guess whose fault it is? It's his fault.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
like I said, it makes sense. They'll do like the Hobbit thing where it's a real life, like full height person.
But
with
not,
big
but not
strings
as good. But not
Oh,
as
it won't be
Yeah.
as good. No, I'm just saying it'd be the same sort of
Yeah.
effect or tech, I would guess. But if they don't, it's just going to look like nothing will make it look like then the actual original. Nothing at all.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
probably will, Jamie Knight. They probably will be, oh, she's a misunderstood woman and the king was
That's
actually
it.
horrible and deserved everything.
Oh,
that
it'll be his
happened to
fault.
him.
Yeah, it'll be definitely the king or the
It'll be the
prince's
king's
fault. It'll be
fault.
someone.
Yeah.
It'll be a male. Definitely won't be a woman's fault.
Yeah.
Yeah, she won't be the absolute piece of work she should be.
Because no offense, because you know the activist women today, the feminists, you know, they don't like women taking responsibility for their actions. It's always someone else's fucking fault. You know,
Yeah.
like.
Yeah.
So that's
But
the world
that's
we
what
live
makes
in.
me laugh so much. Like, so much of the like female villains were horrible, but that's what we loved
Yeah.
about
Exactly.
Ursula and
The
the
evil
Wicked Queen
stepmother.
and
That's
Maleficent. Like the
Yeah.
fact that they were just evil and they didn't care, and actually they loved it. They were just
Yeah.
sort of unapologetic.
Yeah.
That's what made them so
Like,
much
but
fun
you know
to
what?
watch.
You know what? You know what? It's funny about this whole thing, though, Charlotte, is that if the villain was always male, right? They'd be complaining that, oh, why is the villain always male? Why is it always a man? It's so true. You know what I mean? But when it's a woman, oh no, you can't. You know what I mean? It's like you want one rule for themselves and a different rule for the rest of us. But that's not how
Yeah.
it works.
Rules for thee,
Yeah,
not
because
for
at the
me.
end of the day, the wicked stepmother or the wicked queen, sorry, she needs to be a vain, horrible piece of work.
Vindictive.
That's the
Yeah.
whole
She does.
point of her character.
True.
That
By the way, I
she's
knocked my
jealous.
camera off just for a second because I was just having a quick puff and I can't have a
Yeah,
puff.
it's
on
like
screen.
she
Yeah.
needs to be this horrible piece of
Oh,
work. She needs
yeah.
to be vain. She needs to be jealous. She needs
Yeah.
to be sort of weak. The fact that she sees Snow White as so much of a threat.
Yeah.
It's the whole
Yeah,
like.
and I know the feminists will argue, oh, it's the same, it's putting two women against each other to compete against each other and all of that. But look, there's other stories out. See, we focused on these stories, right? And they're the stories that we know. But I can guarantee you that there's stories out there where a woman is just as bad as our male counterpart. But then when that does happen, then you are complaining. You know what I mean? It just makes no sense, man, these feminists, these new radical feminists. I don't know what you want. You know, you want these strong female characters. But when you actually get them, you are complaining about them because they're not feminine enough. Women that are badass, you know, they don't give a shit about the femininity. They're just badass.
Yeah.
And you
Anyway,
can be
Charlie, you were
feminine,
talking. Yeah?
and you can be feminine and tough and badass.
Yeah.
They're not these sort of complete polar opposites that certain bits of Hollywood seem to believe. Oh, I don't know who that is, Trav Legend. So,
Oh, hey, Christian.
What
Anyway,
else have we got?
Joy Bayer, have I said that right?
Yeah.
Or Behar or whatever it is.
I don't really care who's playing the Wicked Witch in Snow. Listen, there's only one Snow White movie for me, right? I know there's the Huntsman one, but I didn't even count that either. But there's only one. Listen, all the animations that we grew up with, the Disney movies that we grew up to love, that's it, as far as I'm concerned. The live action ones. Look, I heard the Lion King live action is not actually a bad live action. It was pretty decent. But the problem for me is I've always loved the animations. I grew up with the animations. I have no desire to watch a live action version.
No, I watched one.
Yeah.
And I regretted it very quickly. Beauty and the Beast.
Which one was that?
Oh God, yeah, we know who. Yeah.
I mean, yeah, but not even because it's horror, but I mean, that movie being playing out as a live action, even the animation itself, there's a lot of questions to be asked about that movie, right? But a live action one, I don't know how they would have got around some of the fucking plot fucking points in the live action version.
Yeah.
What? Oh, they did the whole Gaston with the Bane mob thing, but they softened it a bit.
Yeah.
See, you have to do that. It's not, you know what I mean, though. That story is, and I'm not being, chill about it, but that story is a bit problematic. That one, Beauty and the Beast, you're kind of promoting a certain thing, if you know what I mean, guys. But even though,
well, let's be fair. Like, she falls in love with her captor.
That's it.
That you can't get away from that.
Stockholm syndrome.
Did anyone see Pinocchio? Well, I didn't see the Disney version, but I definitely watched the what's his name's version, the Del Toro version.
Oh, was that like? Oh, cool.
Oh, I thought it was brilliant. I love it. It's a rework and a retelling, but it's done very well, and it's his style, his vision, his version of it, and it's very good. Ewan McGregor plays Jimmy Lee Cricket in it.
I think Ewan McGregor is such an underrated actor.
Yeah.
He is, but he's not doing himself any favours with the fans with statements. He just needs to keep his mouth shut and he'd be fine. The Star Wars fans love him, but you're coming back to help destroy something that you helped build.
Yeah.
You're gonna get a bit.
He is. I just think as an actor, if you take away all the rubbish that he has come out with, and he has, no deny that, I just think he's one of those actors that never really gets their due when it comes to actual how he is on films, because he's so good.
Do you want to say hello to everybody, Ted? Here, someone wants to say hello. Hold on.
Teddy word.
You'll be able to see him now because I've got the camera on, so hold on.
Oh, we've not seen him in ages, actually.
Yeah, you haven't seen him in a while, so hold on, buddy. Hold on.
Teddy!
There he is.
Teddy!
Teddy word.
No.
He's still here. He's still here. Look at him. Woo!
No, we've not seen you in ages.
Oh,
you
Teddy
haven't
word.
seen me in a long time. No, you haven't. You haven't seen me in ages. Say hello to everybody.
Hello, Teddy word.
Hello. Well, you want to give Daddy a kiss? Okay, I'll put you down. There you go, buddy. Yeah. Don't start barking. I don't know why Mommy brought you in when Daddy is streaming, but she said you wanted to see me. Oh, there he is. He's gone now. He wanted to just come in. I think he was just being nosy. He was being nosy, he was. But there you go. I was wondering what was going on. Like, she was like pointing at the door. I was like, what? No, we don't need live action. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, I know.
Let me see. Mae West had the best quote. I used to be Snow White, but I drifted. What else have we got? McGregor was great in Dr. Sleep. That is an underrated movie. Ewan McGregor. Oh, yeah. Cheryl really enjoyed Dr. Sleep. Let me see, someone's asking a question. You watching the Noel on episode 1 and it's being written by, I don't know, the rabbi from another planet, directed by Teddy. We might still mark William Hartnell's anniversary. His episode, I should say, because we always do, and it's Classic Who, but we'll see. I haven't been able to watch even Classic Who yet. Teddy fan club. Well, yeah, some people have asked to see Teddy, so there you go. He's got to see him. He's still the little rat that he is. He doesn't sit still for a second, but yeah, he's just gotten worse. But that was to be expected when he gets spoiled rotten the way he does. But,
he's a little dog as well, and they wiggle.
That's it. But I suppose before we do go, we can go for a few for as long as Charlotte is able to go. Well, Yanni, Witcher news this week. We might as well end on a bit of Witcher news. Is there any Witcher? I do enjoy some Witcher news, especially so we can have a bit of a laugh. So to make us laugh this week, and the writers put their foot in it.
No, I think I've got a feeling they've been told to shut up because. Ooh. They released a trailer for the second half because it comes out in like the 20. I can't remember. It's like 20 something, so it's not that long away. And they've done no promotion, like when it comes to interviews or anything for it. So I've got a feeling Netflix have told them.
Yeah.
Nobody liked your first half. Oh no, let me change that. People had issues with your first half of season 3. Just don't say anything to stoke the fire.
Yeah.
No, they're going to, because they can't. These people can't help themselves.
Don't anger the natives.
They can't. We got 24 people watching. You know, we haven't had this many people watching in a good while. It's nice to see everybody. I suppose we have gone over the 2-hour mark, so I suppose maybe that's why people are here, because it is a little bit later, but I want to say thanks. Like, we'll talk for as long as we can if we've got stuff to talk about. Just some weeks we don't really have anything to talk about, really, except whether it's Witcher news or whatever else is going on. But we've had a lot today. My questions for Charlotte: is there any witches in The Witcher? Says Mark.
They are sorcerers. This is the joke also in the universe that magic women aren't witches; they're sorceresses.
Right.
And so it's a bit, I think it's a joke that witches have got that to name because there's no witches per se. I think Starkovsky just really liked the name and he just made it up a bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I've got a feeling as soon as the episode's been done, it's all going to hit the fan really soon because it's the last half. We're going to see this so-called meta thing they're going to do to explain the face change. So that's going to happen. Yeah. And it's, I just think soon we're going to have a lot of Witcher stuff back because the show will be finished season 3.
Yeah.
And it'll be interesting how they start to promote the new guy.
Oh, sorry. Someone coughing to death.
Sorry, that's my mum.
Oh, sorry.
Is she okay?
Who's coughing to death? They all right?
No, is she okay? Is she okay? Yeah.
Yeah, she's all right. She's probably just got out for a cigarette.
I see. Smokers pop. I understand.
And I've had to switch room tonight because the usual room I'm in has been painted. So I'm in the conservatory, which is the way to go outside.
Yeah. So it's going to smell.
Yeah, so you're in a couple of weeks' time, I would have watched all the episodes and let you know how it finished and probably my sort of final thoughts on the whole mess.
Yeah.
It's going to be interesting when you do come on and let us know how bad or good it is. So far, it's not looking good, but we'll see. But does anybody in the chat? Because we can go for a few more minutes. Obviously, you know, and Charlie needs to go. We'll end. But I mean, if you have any more questions in there, is there anything you want to throw out? And you want to ask any of the panelists? As I said, that trailer for the Sonic Screwdriver was actually released today, teaser trailer. If you just want to ask the two guys on the panel there what they thought of it, if they've seen the video, you can go ahead. I did show it to PD Rich, so if you want to ask him his thoughts on it, you're more than welcome. I just won't be giving me thoughts, as I said, but I'm not going to stop people from talking about Doctor, because I know it'll take people a while to adjust to what we're doing. So, you know, I have to be a bit lenient on that. So if you just want to ask any of the panelists, you can go ahead. Don't be shy about it. Let me see. We got the legend in the chat. Are there any witches?
Like I said, Tarkovsky likes the word, and I think it's a bit of a joke in the universe.
Yeah. Should change it to the picture.
Yeah, she's posh, isn't she? She's got a conservatory right beside the 8. I know, yeah. I'm living in a 1-bedroom apartment here. She's got a conservatory and all, and what the hell?
Well, I am Queen Charlotte, Noel.
Exactly. She's royalty.
I have to follow my name.
That's it.
The face change, Peter. They've not exactly said how they're going to do it. They've just said it is going to be addressed. It's going to be meta, is their description. They've also said it's going, which is more scary than the meta comment they've made. Apparently, they're going to make it law accurate, which is just mind-boggling, because in no point in the books does Geralt change his whole face.
Yeah.
So you find something law accurate for me in those books, which isn't your twisting of something. Or
maybe they'll use some sort of magic potion or something.
Yeah, it'll be stupid. So we don't know if it's gonna actually. That's the other thing. We don't know if there's gonna be like a last scene. We see the change, or we see something happen, and then that's the explanation.
Yeah.
And we don't see Liam till next season. We don't know exactly. It's not like, even though they've tried to compare it to Doctor Who, which is hilarious.
Yeah, but that's a Time Lord.
It's not like a regeneration where you actually see the change that way. So who knows, Peter, what on earth they're going to do.
It just sounds weird. It's like something you shouldn't do. They're just going to do it.
It'll be a shit show.
The spectacle the mad, yeah.
It'll be a shit show.
But they're not using there was something in the books where basically they could have had a get out card for it, and by the trailer they dropped, they're not going to use something that would have made a tiny bit of sense. So it's going to purely be of their own creation, I think.
Yeah, that's the norm with those two. Is it 2? No, it's a full writer's room, isn't it? It's not 2 of them.
Oh, well, there's the showrunner, and then there's the writer's room, and they're both absolute raving idiots.
Yeah, doolally. God, I just don't know how we got to here.
Like I said, when I watch the episodes, I can give my sort of closing idea of how the show got to the state it's in.
Yeah.
See, that was funny though, Peter, because it was just like, oh, Jamie looks a bit different. This is a whole different thing.
Yeah, and so a completely new guy turns up. Yeah. Yes. Oh God, I thought it was Chris Hemsworth. Oh my God, I got his 2-bit brother. Oh.
Yeah, we've got the Aldi version.
You got the Aldi Hemsworth.
Yeah, what I honestly believe, and this is no slight towards Liam at all, but I think they wanted somebody who wouldn't fight them as much.
Yeah.
Who wouldn't raise his sort of side of the argument as much.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Someone was submissive. Yeah. That's sad, but
yeah.
The Sonic. Let me see. Sonic Inside had the worst.
I've not seen this video. I'll have to watch it.
And this was funded by Disney. No, actually, it hasn't. See, this is a misconception. And the media actually reported on this, but I think it's gone over people's heads. It's been made very clear that the budget that they have will not have been used until they start filming for Shooty's era.
Yeah, so Shooty's where you're going to see the money.
So Shooty's is where you're going to see the money, not David Tennant's. It was never intended for David Tennant's. That was actually reported by the media very early on. I think a lot of YouTube channels actually skipped that article because I did cover it here. The budget is not kicking in until Series 14, not the 60th anniversary. Any money that was used for the 60th anniversary is obviously money that Bad Wolf Studios will be using with their deal with Sony and with,
BBC.
obviously, and BBC. So the Sony and BBC money and Bad Wolf Studios money is being used to make the 60th. Disney then, when the Series 14 comes along, 15 and so on, that's where the money has been allocated. So I think, you know, that has to be made clear. You know me, I don't want to even be defending this, but at the end of the day, I've got to tell you the facts. The fact of the matter is that the budget for the 60th anniversary is nothing to do with the budget that Disney have. It's for 14 to 15 to 16 and so on. So yeah, that's where we are. But I actually got to be honest, even though I'm not going to watch it, I found the reveal, the trailer gave me goosebumps. So I got to be honest, and the music, and that's why I'm pissed and I got a bit emotional because they go and do that, release that little trick teaser, and I decided to finally give up the show, and then they go and do something like that. I mean, but I'm standing by what I said. It's not going to break me, no matter how much he tries with his little videos. It's not going to work, but I'm not going to sit here and lie to you and say that I didn't feel something when I saw that sonic screwdriver. I did. I really did. I want that screwdriver, but I'm not going to go out and buy it, but I want it. That reveal. Yeah. Listen, I thought personally that reveal was very good. And, you know, maybe it's because I knew that they didn't have the Disney budget, but I think that was very well done. I love the music as well, but I can't support it because RTD is a prick. BBC are a bunch of fucking cover-up artists, and you know, let's be honest, they've been telling us that we're a bunch of fucking hateful people the past few years, so I just can't. But there you go. And yet David's era is on Disney Plus. Yeah, they're gonna show David's era. That was part of the agreement anyway. You're not going to take the Doctor Who and just start off with Series 14.
No, they'll need something to.
Yeah, you're going to need like a segue. And as David Tennant is the second Doctor of the new Who era anyway, it's a nice little segue for fans, and sure, the whole show will be going up on Disney Plus, including the 2005 era anyway, and all the way up. So, you know, that's part of the deal, but none of the budget. Trust me, it was reported on. Lots of YouTubers didn't report on it, but we were here. We actually even had a panel about it. That was spoke about. The budget. There's no the budget that's being used is Sony money, Bad Wolf Studio and BBC, whatever money they have, which wouldn't be much because BBC are in, you know, they needed to get rid of Doctor Who because of what Chips did to it.
Yeah, they couldn't fund it. They couldn't fund it anymore.
And if you look at the screwdriver and you look at the reveal, the screwdriver is a homage to all the doctors that we got in the new Who era.
Yeah,
except for Jodie Whittaker. Except for Jodie. So there's homages to all screwdrivers. David Tennant's, Matt Smith's, and Peter Capaldi's are all combined into the screwdriver.
And for a 60th one, that makes sense. I know it would be nice if there was classic there as well, but it makes sense.
Yeah.
That's fair enough, Matt. Matt, listen, I'm at that place myself. I don't feel anything for the show, but I'm not going to sit here and lie and say I didn't feel nothing for that trailer. I did. I think it was the music more than that. Now, that music was very... It kind of reeled me in a little bit. But I think, look, I even said it here a few months ago that I thought the next thing that would be...
Yes, we did.
Screwdriver. You know, I didn't think they'd actually do a video for it, but I did say the next reveal would be, and others obviously thought, and in fairness, to be quite honest with you, I suppose the sonic screwdriver probably should have been last on the list, but I'll make another prediction now. I reckon the next big thing we're going to see is the TARDIS interior.
Yeah.
That'll be the next.
Maybe in a
reveal.
trailer. Maybe in the first full-length trailer, because up to this point, I will still make it clear, we've had teasers. We've not had a proper trailer yet.
Yeah.
So maybe that's when the TARDIS gets revealed.
Look, you guys can let me know if it's any good. I don't think you're going to be able to change your mind. I know there's some in the chat that have said over the last couple of streams that they still like me to review the show. But I don't want to review it. To be quite honest with you, I'm actually quite happy that I'm not. I'll be busy with other stuff anyway. I've got the regular season be starting up anyway. So when Doctor Who's on at night time, Manchester United matches will be on, and I'll be streaming on the other channel anyway. So I've got other things to be doing anyway that I enjoy. I don't enjoy covering Doctor Who anymore.
Yeah, the thing's gone, hasn't it?
Yeah, so I'm not going to. I won't. Listen, you don't know how stubborn I am on here. Then I'm not watching it. I've made up my mind. It's done. I wouldn't be even doing this whole rebrand. Listen, I'm sticking to this. It's done. I've renamed the channel. It's called the Noel Zone now. If you look now, it's not called the TARDIS Zone anymore. It's gone. TARDIS has gone out of the name. Gone. I don't want to cover Doctor Who. I actually don't want to cover it. It's the first time ever. I don't want to cover it. So I won't change my mind. I'm not going to change my mind. That's why I said to you, I know there'll be channels out there that will. Dan will probably cover it. Rabbi will definitely cover it.
Yeah.
There'll be channels out there that'll cover it and they'll do very well, and the numbers will go up and their viewers will go up and all of this. It does nothing for me.
I can say this as somebody who's part of Dan's team. We will cover it, but we will be truthful. If we don't like it, if there's things we don't think are good, we will call that out. If there's things we like about it, we will talk about that as well. Rabbi will be the same.
Oh, exactly the same. I'll vouch for him on that one.
How Noel was when he was covering the Whittaker stuff.
Oh, Rabbi's ripping into. Sorry, Charlotte, I'm getting all tongue-tied. Rabbi is ripping into Strange New World at the moment. He can't stand it. So, he'll do the same with Doctor Who if they cross the line.
Yeah. So, there'll be people covering it, like Noel said. And they'll be covering it truthfully and fairly.
Yeah. Exactly. I just don't want to do it anymore.
I don't blame you.
Got better things to do.
Yeah, and you know what you enjoy at the end of the day, Noel.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like Sharon,
nobody knows that better than you.
I mean, if people really want to, maybe I can convince her to come on and talk about Doctor Who for you. But I'm not covering it. I've rebranded. I'm done. It's my love affair with this show is done, and RTD and others, BBC, combination of things, and quite frankly, this fandom, right?
Yeah, it's great at the moment.
Right, I'm just sick and tired of having to deal with these little muppets anytime I open my mouth about something. So, I leave it to the people that want to continue to do that. As I said, I won't be watching even behind the scenes, so I won't know what you're talking about. I have no plans of watching anybody stream on it. No plans of watching any reviews. I've no plans of watching this new era of RTDs or the 60th. I'm not even watching the 60th. I was looking forward to the 60th because the anniversary. I'm not even watching the anniversary. So that, and I thought I'd be upset about. I'm more upset about the rebranding than I am about not missing the 60th. They've sucked any enjoyment that I was going to have out of it. So I'm not going to cover stuff that I don't enjoy covering. I don't enjoy covering Doctor Who anymore. And, you know, after 5.5 years, I've done my bit anyway. You know, if people want to continue to do what they do on their channels and complain about it, that's fine, fair enough. You know, if it ends up being great, I well done. I'm glad that it worked out. But even if it does work out, it's still not going to be enough to bring me back on here anyway to talk about it. There's no way. I'm not giving BBC anymore or Disney anymore credit for Doctor Who. They're getting nothing out of me. Absolutely nothing. They don't deserve it. Yeah, in fairness, as I said, it's a personal decision, but I'd really like you all to think about it and think about the way BBC have behaved over these last few years. How the fans have reacted to us, how they have reacted within the BBC towards us, and then all the shit that they've covered up and all the scandals that they have. And really ask yourselves, can you really keep going on and supporting the BBC? And this is what this is about for me. This is not just about Doctor Who, by the way. I'm getting the Sky Q boxes there goes tomorrow. We've gotten rid of our TV, right? I mean the stations. That TV will be gone as well because we won't need a TV because everything is going to be watched on our computers. Because we just got the new modem is right here, getting ready to be connected. We won't have any TV in this house because that's how strongly I feel, right, about not supporting it. Because if that Skybox stayed there, I'd be tempted, you see. And I know I would be tempted, being honest with you. If it was there, I'd be tempted, but it's been taken away now, and I won't seek out and look for it online because that's the way I am. I won't. You know, I could watch the Flash movie right now. I could watch the other movies that I said I was boycotting right now. But I won't. Because, you know, sometimes you just have to take a stand on what you believe in. And this time, you know, I've taken stands before and then people have convinced me to cover this show again. And I've broken my own boycott as such. And I've given people what they want. But I'm sorry, this might sound selfish, but I'm not giving you what you want this time. I'm doing it for myself this time. And I think I've earned that after 5.5 years of being on here, nearly 6 years, that I'm entitled to one thing, and that's my thing. I'm not covering this show ever again.
Understandable.
Not until BBC is cleared out from top to bottom, and not until Doctor Who is respected the way I believe it should be respected. It's as simple as that. And for the last five years, they haven't respected the IP. And you know, maybe we are jumping the gun on RTD a little bit. Maybe he will respect the show, but from what I've seen and the people that he's casting, every time they open their mouths, they just keep making the situation worse. I'm not getting into it with these fans again because I had it last week, right? A couple of these bigger influencers out there in the Doctor Who fandom retweeted me and I start getting shit again. I handled it swiftly and it was done. But then I was kind of thinking, well, you know, I kind of don't want to be dealing with this again. And then I got the excuse I needed anyway. I just needed another excuse. And David Tennant, Jinx Monsoon, and then that BBC scandal made up my mind. It was it. That's all I needed. And my mind was made up. So I'm kind of glad that all of this broke and it's out now, because now I can just finally walk away and just with my head held high and say, look, you know, 5.5 years I covered this show. I was honest with myself. I gave me honest opinion. I brought people together. That's something to be proud of. And I'll never stop being proud of that. That's one of the best things about this. But we move on, and there's nothing wrong with moving on and doing new stuff. And it doesn't mean that you're not going to still get the same Noel that has strong opinions. I'm pretty sure there'll be other
I think
stuff
the stream proved that tonight.
right?
Yeah.
There's plenty of stuff for me to bang on about, right? It's just I don't want to be involved in the Doctor Who fandom anymore and have to deal with those kids. So there's 27 watching now. I'm pretty sure that some of them are watching right now and they're celebrating and they're having a bit of a hoolie. Well done. But remember, for 5.5 years, I was living up here 24/7, 7 days a week, rent free.
Yeah.
And that's all I have to say. Anyway,
That's your finishing bit.
that's me done now. So I've explained the rebrand. You know why I'm rebranding. I know some of you are finding this a little bit hard to take because there is, of course they are, because people have like they do like the TARDIS song. It is a good name. I mean, I chose well, I have to say, and it is going to be sad to see it go, but it already has because I changed the name today on YouTube. We just haven't done the rebranding yet. But as I said, we'll have one more big TARDIS Zone stream, as I said, and we'll have everybody on: Charlotte, PD, Jack, Lee, Daniel, all the old guests. We'll bring them on for one last hoolie before we move into a new phase on the channel, and that's all it is, folks. And look, as William Hartnell said, one day I may come back, but it won't be for a long time. And I know that now. And I have to say, rebranding and doing all this has been difficult. But walking away from the show, not as difficult as I thought it was going to be. And that's well done to Chips. Well done, you did a great job, mate. And to the fans that you pandered to, well done. And well done, RTD. You just couldn't help yourself, could you not? But well done. And Jinx, you're a delight. Absolutely wonderful human being you are. And Seuss, absolutely funny woman. A funny woman, I have to say.
In more ways than
one. Spot on. And Shilty, I love that slut comment that your fans are now using towards it, John Pertwee. Well done for that. And basically walking around half naked in front of people, your fans on Instagram as well is another reason. Now Jinx Monsoon talking about the condom up their backside. I mean, that's in the fandom seems to be okay now. And you got all that fucking trans t-shirt crap with David Tennant. I mean, I just don't get it with David Tennant. He's never indicated before in any part. We've seen him. We grew up with him. We've seen every interview with him, right? We've seen every interview. He's never in all of that time indicated any support, any way, shape or form, right? He puts on a t-shirt, right, out in the garden, gets a few photographs taken with it. Then what does he do? He takes it off to go onto the one show and wears a black shirt instead.
Yeah.
And that was it for me. So, anybody that supports the mutilation of kids, why should I support them? This is another reason why I'm not supporting the 60th. It kills me because David Tennant is a doctor that I really do like. But he supports something that I don't support. And I feel strongly about, I think it's the biggest crime of our time that's happening in our society right now with our kids, and all of this, biological men wanting to be in women's safe spaces. I've had enough, and Jinx supports that, Seuss supports that, David Tennant now clearly has shown that he supports that, and on top of that then they're using Doctor Who to indoctrinate everybody. So, this show isn't for us anymore. But if you watch it, I wish you the best of luck.
It's gone a few years.
And I hope for you's sake it's actually good. But as I said, think about what I've said about BBC and the way they've acted. This is not about just boycotting Doctor Who. This is about defunding the BBC, boycotting the BBC. You got to send a message. Boycotts do work. Look what happened, Bud Light.
Yep.
Boycotts can work.
Disney.
Right? And even if we boycotted Jordan the 60th anniversary and nobody tunes in to watch it, you're sending a message, yeah, it'll hurt David Tennant's stock, but so he kind of deserves it after what he's after coming out and supporting. That's unforgivable as far as I'm concerned, because when all of this turns on its head and people realise that all of this is fucked up, and when heads are going to roll, David Tennant and all these other activists, they're all the heads that roll first. Remember, the people that are truly responsible will hide behind the activists. The activists are all the scapegoats, the patsies. So
useful idiots.
That's the one, Cheryl. Oh, Charlotte.
Charlotte.
Not on that.
That's your wife.
Yeah, she's inside in the bedroom watching probably Love Fucking Island.
Oh,
doing the editing now. She will with her text messages now telling me how fucking great this person is and that I should check this out. And I've frozen again, haven't I?
You did then.
Yeah.
You only see what your eyes want to see. You're frozen when your heart's not open. Ooh. Anyway, let me know when you have a celebration. I'll be watching. Yeah, well, yeah, it will be a bit. It actually will be a bit of a celebration, won't it, as well? But it will be sad. But we're not going anywhere. We're still going to be here.
No, it would be like looking forward to a next step, to a new sort of part
we'll be still banging on about Hollywood on Friday Night Contact. During the week we'll be having with Charlotte and PD, and then with Christian we'll be doing more streams like this, talking about random stuff, talking about classic TV shows, movies, why they're so much better. Talking about, for example, yesterday I was talking about TJ Hooker, giving a breakdown of it and why I think it was far superior than some of the shows that we get today and stuff like that. We're going to have plenty to talk about, plenty to debate, there'll be still plenty of stuff for people to rant about. It's just I don't want to do it. I just don't want to do it connected to Doctor Who. It's too painful. And I just don't want to go through the shit that I went through either, because Cheryl was getting it again anyway. I don't want that to start up. And it's not, they're not the main reason. I want to make clear the main reason is RTD and David Tennant against Monsoon and the way the BBC have acted recently. They're the issues there that make me make up my mind. It's nothing got to do with these fans, but I just don't want to get into it with them again. And I don't want anybody that I am either my wife or my friends to be dragged in. Because if I say, listen, once I start reviewing the 60th, right, and then I get on to Series 14, and as soon as I say one bad thing, that'll be it. It'll start up again.
You're a homophobe. You're this. You're that.
Exactly. And I just don't need that in my life. I just don't need that in my life. No. And nobody really needs that in their life. But as I said, there will be channels out there that will cover, because there's a load of them. Like Dan sounds great because he has so many people on. He has his community within the community on screen with him. I'm here mostly on me. Let's be honest. If I don't bring people on, I'm on my own. So like I have to deal with a lot of shit on my own. So I get it more in the neck than anybody else does. I mean, I'm not just saying this, but I'm probably the most abused, bullied person in the Doctor Who fandom, without a shadow of a doubt. Even Chris Bolstreck said it. Like, they can't believe the amount of harassment and bullying I've gotten in this Doctor Who fandom. And I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, there was the 2000 hate mob group by Tom Vance set up because he hated me. And others that I hung around with. Right? This is not an ego. For a small channel that I have, I've been the most targeted person.
You have.
Yeah.
So that's why I don't need it. I don't need to go through it. I don't need to be listening to Mr. Cardis fucking giving out about me, or Therese having a go, or Billy Who having a go at me because I've said something that they don't like. You know? I don't need to put up with that shit anymore. Nobody does, quite frankly. You know what I mean? But look, if it works out for you as well, I wish you the best. I really do. I hope it does work out for you, because it'd be nice for fans that stuck by the Jodie era, that didn't really like it, that they get rewarded for their loyalty. But I don't believe that RTD will reward that loyalty. I think he's already made it clear who he's going to pander to. And he's heard that audio today of the fans that he's pandering to, right? Just to remind people that have come in late, there is a podcast going around from a load of J-bots that were basically, they were talking, and then Tom Baker came into the conversation, and they were all saying they couldn't wait for the day until Tom Baker was dead so they could celebrate, and there was people in the background laughing. These are the people that BBC are pandering to, and I don't want any part of this fandom anymore. It's a fucking disgrace. It is. Right? It's a disgrace, it is. It's overrun by a bunch of fucking lunatics, just like most countries out there. Lunatics are coming into their country and fucking absolutely destroying it. It's the same with fandom, right? It's happening in fandom, it's happening in society.
We warned them, no? We warned them. We warned everyone this would happen. This is just a start. Yeah.
Anyway, I think Charlotte goes at 10, so we're getting close to that time. So what we'll do is, unless Charlotte has anything to add, we'll let Charlotte have the last word. But yes, that's what was said today about Tom Baker. The audio was actually retweeted on my Twitter account, so if you don't believe me, you can go and actually see it. I did play it at the start of this stream to actually prove it to everybody as well. Go and check it out. But these are the fans that BBC wanted. So they're the ones. I mean, Tom Baker. I mean, if you show that level of disrespect,
contempt
to a legend that was part of our show, well then the fandom is gone.
Yeah.
Fandom is gone. Anyway,
that's not even that. That's contempt. That's what I'd call it.
It is.
Pure
Robert
contempt.
is going to watch the 60th, but he's not feeling keen about the next series. Look, as I said, I'm not going to bash anybody here if you watch. But from a moral standpoint, I can't watch it. So I hope it's good for you. You can let me know. You can certainly let me know if it's good. I won't mind knowing that you've got what you wanted. I will definitely listen to what Queen Charlotte has to say, because I know when she'll watch, she'll be honest about it. So I'm pretty sure people will tell me whether it was good or bad and give me their opinions on it. But I really do hope it's good for you. I really do, because I think some of you, for the loyalty that you showed during the Chris Chibnall era, I think you do deserve to be rewarded. I really do. And that's what I was hoping that would happen for me, but I don't believe he'll do it. But anyway, I'll leave it there and I'll let Queen Charlotte have the last word, and then she could do her shout outs, and then we'll go to PD. And then I'll tell you what I have coming up as well. But before I do that, I just want to thank everybody in the chat. And we've seen some old familiar faces that haven't been here in a while, like Matt.
Thank you.
And a couple of others that were in earlier on. And we also had Glenn Piper in the chat earlier on as well. So nice to see us. Keep supporting us, won't you? And keep watching our streams, because trust me, we'll have plenty of fun. I'll be on camera now from now on, right? The
when it works for him.
No, well, it just knocked off there because I did take a smoke. I shouldn't have knocked it off I shouldn't have took the smoke break, is what I'm saying, because it messed it up a bit. But there, it should come back on now. Hold on. There's me ugly face. Oh, you can't see me ugly face. Hold on. I will change that now because I'm going to do a bit of magic, right? Because I'm a fucking magician. I am. Right? Now, listen, if you hear a scream, right, I've just been electrocuted, but it'll be okay because, you know, apparently I'm not human, so I should survive. Right, let's see. There we go. Right, now, you should be able to see my ugly face now. There you go. Look at, oh, by the way, have you noticed? Look, I've gone full Mohican there. Look at how long my hair is now.
Gone Cherokee.
Yeah, here, look, I'll even show you. It's even worse. Watch.
Proper, like, rocker hair.
Yeah.
There you go. I've gone all Jesus. You know. I bless you all. Anyway, I better go before I get nailed to a cross. Sorry, bad joke. I'm only messing. I was trying to get a rise out of you, but I forgot it takes 3 days. Anyway, let's get into the shout outs. Let's start with the one and only. She's royalty. It's the one and only Queen Charlotte. I'm sexy. Of course I'm sexy. I'm too sexy for me. Anyway.
Yes, so you will catch me on Type 40, the live shows. We're just doing a general sort of catch up and news. So we'll probably talk about, I suspect, this video with the sonic screwdriver or the pictures that I know they released this week, the promotional pictures. So you'll catch me there on Thursday. So that's tomorrow night. And also we're doing our own reviews in the podcasts for each doctor's getting their own review. So look out for them. And then you'll catch me on Daniel's channel, like he said in the chat. We're going to do some chill streams and just general sort of chatting rubbish, as I sort of say. So you catch me on Scottish Davros and Friends, Wrestle with Pop Culture, and you'll catch me here with Noel on Wednesdays.
Absolutely fantastic.
And in that note, I'm going to go, folks.
Okay,
is that a new Liverpool? Is that a new Liverpool show? Is that a new Liverpool? Are you blind? What's that?
I don't know.
What's that, Cinnamon? You know quite well that this isn't a Liverpool top. Taking the piss out of me. Get the fucking about you. You're a Watford fan, actually, so we can slag you to bits. Anyway,
good night, everybody.
Queen Charlotte is going to say good night to us also. Good night. Thank you for gracing us with your presence, your Royal Highness. So there she goes. The Royal Highness has left. So we will. Yeah, I remember when it was shot. Well, Cheryl is actually getting sick and tired of her hair now. But what do you think? Do you think it suits me, or do you think I should get rid of it? I mean, I could play Jesus. You know, they wanted to do a second Passion of the Christ. You know, calling it the resurrection. I could do it.
Crucify this.
I may have to lose a bit of weight now because Jesus was quite skinny. But I've got the blue eyes.
He wouldn't be in this day and age.
Yeah. Well, actually, yeah, you can have an overweight Jesus.
Yeah.
So there you go.
Modern Jesus would be overweight.
Yeah, modern Jesus.
I
bless you, my child. Anyway, PD is going to do his shout outs.
Okay, you can normally find me when I can find it in my list of many channels. I've still got Alpha Omegas in here, but I just don't want to delete it. I just won't do it.
Oh no, I don't. I'm still connected to everything Alpha Omega.
I know. I won't delete his entry from my Rolodex.
Yeah, I'll find it. I can't even I didn't even think about doing that. But I recently went into his channel again, man, and it's just fucking sad.
I know. It's a lost legacy. It really is.
Well, I suppose you're not the blue half of Liverpool, so I suppose I can forgive you. You know?
Yeah. Anyway, you can normally find me hovering around the chat on Rabbi's channel. So-called policing the chat, some people say, but I don't police. I just make sure everyone's all safe. We don't have any crazies coming. You can find me there. Where else can you find me? So, as I said, Dan. You can find me on Dan's channel every once in a while when he needs someone else to needs me to prop up the bar, if you know what I mean. Yeah, I just want to also plug. Who I want to plug? I want to plug Jack's channel, Gobby's channel. Oh, there it is in the Jack's channel, Gobby's channel. When I can find it, it should be down below. Where's Tristian's channel? Because I haven't been doing it. I haven't been plugging it because I've been busy clearing everything else up. Do Cinnamon as well, even though you love-hate relationship with him at the moment. And Cinnamon, you got a love-hate relationship at the moment.
Oh yeah, because he said the Liverpool short. We can't be having that shit when he knows I'm a Man United supporter. He bleeding knows I play a Man United on me fucking eFootball. He knows better.
You're gonna
By the way,
have to have a game with him. He's got a new flat now, so you're gonna have to have a game with him.
by the way, I didn't see TARDIS spoiler since I said that. I mean, I hope he doesn't think I was really.
Yeah.
I was
I
a
told
joke,
him what
man.
it was. I told him what it is in the chat. He doesn't take it too seriously because I always tell him what it is. Who else did I say? Okay, I said about Jack. Christian. Yeah, if I can find it. It's
I
hidden.
wonder if there's any way of contacting him because
He's on Facebook, mate. I think he's.
Is he? Yeah. Well, send me his name on Facebook. I think I might be following him on Facebook. Just let me.
I think I've lost him. I know he is. Oh, there it is. Bloody hell, finding Christians. That's no offense to you, Christian. That's just my Rolodex. There you go. That's probably me plugging. If I missed anyone, sorry. I'll do it next time. That's that's the community.
Right, so that's all the channels in there. Of course, you can catch me here on the Noel Zone. See, I'll get used to that.
Yeah.
Also, you'll catch me on the Irish Geek, which is the gaming channel.
Oh,
if you like to watch me, which eFootball. You thought it was Liverpool. What? I thought your eFootball save was Liverpool all this time. Oh, cinnamon.
You saw red, but it was Liverpool.
Cinnamon. Why do you think I had Eric Ten Hag as my manager? Do you think I'd really give Eric Ten Hag the Liverpool job and insult him like that? Ah, man, you're taking the piss. You come on. You have to. No, I'm a Man United fan and I call myself Noel the Red Devil. Anyway, that's my other YouTube channel. I did a live stream today on that channel. Daniel was in there supporting me.
There it is.
And we had a couple of other new people that popped in to say hello during that stream. But we won 1-0 against Leon. So go and check that out because we have other streams on that. And we still haven't done the Rumble stream. So this is what's going on. I'm just going to go on Rumble myself and do a stream. And if anybody wants to come on, they could come on because, we make arrangements for people to come on and then I hear nothing about it. And then I let people down because I tell them that we're going to be streaming on Rumble, but then it falls through. So from now on, I'm just going to do streams on Rumble and whoever wants to be on can come on. It's as simple as that. Because, I haven't streamed there in weeks now. So I need to get one out there because I want to keep Rumble going. Because we're getting a bit of momentum on that. So no, the Red Scouts are not a chance. But I will tell you this: I had my brother was originally a Manchester United supporter, and then he actually defected to Liverpool when he was, I think he was a young kid. He was only 8 or 9. So around that time, I suppose you can get away with it, and especially back then you could. But yeah, he defected to Liverpool, little scumbag. So yeah, and when I say little scumbag, I don't mean that in a bad way. That's the way us Irish talk about each other. But little scumbag went Scouser, he did on me. So I wasn't happy about that because I'm Man U through and through, Anyway, and if you go on Rumble, at least I can comment live, unlike on Twitter. Exactly, and as I said, this hair is annoying me. That's why I have it up, but like everyone else. Anyway, I will do a stream soon on Rumble. Just bear with me. I'm juggling loads of channels, but I'm doing well so far. I've managed to keep everything ticking over quite nicely. So yeah. So Irish Geek on YouTube, 400 subscribers. We've hit the 400 subscriber mark. Noel the Red Devil, we've hit the 40 subscriber mark because we've only started streaming on that channel, but we've already surpassed the views that we need and all of that, the watch hours already, because YouTube Shorts help with that as well. And obviously here on the Noel Zone, where I'm here every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Friday. And Friday's busy because Friday obviously we do the member stream. And then we have Friday night contact. So that's your lot for tonight. 3 hours. We haven't done a 3-hour stream in ages. Yeah, I want to show people me Jesus hair. They like it. Do you like it?
No, they don't.
They do, yeah. Look, I'm doing the Mona Lisa now.
No, please stop. Please let me cut it.
Right. Now, Jesus, the Passion of the Christ. Yeah. Anyway, can you all still hear me? Yeah. Anyway, this Jesus-loving person has to go now and get some food into him. So I'll sign off. Want to thank Queen Charlotte, PD as usual, for coming on and making these streams fun, and to all the moderators who keep everybody in line, even though you don't have to, because everybody's quite well behaved here. But thank you, and everybody that asked us a question and contributed. We really do appreciate that. So you can all feck off now because it's 10 past 10 at night time here in Ireland. As I said, I'm going to get something into me before I chill out and watch a little bit of TJ Hooker. And then once that's over, I'll be on to Dallas again. So there you go. Anyway, we all know who shot JR. By the way, see you later. Thanks for joining us. And I'll see you for the next one, I hope. Now, let's hope we can live smoothly at this time, because our entrance to this stream was all over the place. So let's see, can we actually live without anything skipping? So we're going to start off with the TARDIS Zone intro. Bye-bye. Au revoir.
Bye.
And we're already having problems.
Give it a kick.
Ah!